It's Friday, August 22nd, 2025. All right, let's start off, as we typically do, by telling you if you'd like to support our show, then you can go to supportourshow.com. And I don't think there's anything else programming notes wise that I have to do up front. So that is it for my introduction to the show, right? Oh yeah, Ozone, I think still works. So there's that.
Yeah, but don't do it.
And actually,
podcasting just leads to such a hollow victory of life.
I will encourage people to join the Patreon at whatever tier is comfortable for you. Patreon.com/OzoneNightmare, because
remember there is a
lot of movie commentaries on there now.
There's a free tier.
That's what I'm saying.
You know.
It's everything is unlocked at every tier, so there is no pay requirement for anything.
Yeah.
Since I don't even remember when. It's so long ago it wouldn't matter. Everything at this point is all in the free tier. But the main reason for that is because it's the only place at the moment that I can post videos without having to do anything to them. I haven't even blurred the nudity anymore, and they don't care. I'm just leaving everything in now.
Oh, like, Patreon doesn't care about there. Nudity? No.
Well, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't, because nudity can be the one last thing, because on a free tier, especially with all the age verification stuff going on right now, I wasn't sure if they would be careful.
We haven't watched anything excessively naked since the photographer movie. Right?
Oh, yes, we have. Remember is it pubic hair or is it a thong?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And don't forget the Alien movie where all the naked people went in the cave, although I did blur that one. That's the only one I've blurred so far.
Yeah, and honestly, and what's weird about that one is the nudity in that. It wasn't even like sexy nudity. It was just
it isn't, but like I said,
arbitrary
I don't know.
Nudity. Yeah, I know.
I don't know with all this stuff now where everybody's being required to have age verification, if they're suddenly going to say, hey, you can't do that on the free tier. They could easily say that. Because I don't know.
Well, then, I guess blur away then.
No, for now, I'm not. That's what I'm saying is so far they haven't. I did the first couple, and then I'm like, let me put this one up, the pubic hair thong one. I didn't do anything to that one to see if I would get, a note or anything, because I don't know. I was just kind of curious. And nothing happened. So far, I'm just putting everything up as... The only thing I'm doing to it is I am putting a filter over it and cutting the color in half, so that nobody can come back and say you're putting perfect, pristine copies.
So it all looks like bad VHS copies.
Yeah, even though we're talking over it. So realistically, they could, but I want to eliminate any possibility that they say, well, you're putting pristine copies of the video. Okay, no, I'm not. So you can shut up now. I am not. Like I said, I don't want to put... Patreon so far has not fucked with us. So I don't want to fuck with them. So I'm trying to be reasonable. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I can go a little ways because they've given us a lot of latitude so far, and I don't know how long it's going to last, but for the moment, it's fairly unrestricted.
Well, nothing lasts
Therefore,
forever,
I'm not being a joik about it. So, That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that's why I'm saying Patreon is a good place, because there is now a lot of, unlike many years where there was nothing on there because I was like, who cares? Now I'm putting all of our commentaries up there every 2 weeks, and we're still at September of 26, even with doing 2 a month. So, yeah, we're not going to run out of that shit anytime soon.
Some weeks have more movies than others.
Oh boy, yes, but it doesn't matter because it's always 2 a month. Therefore.
Oh yeah. So you're always. That's very true.
We're always good there.
Very true.
Yeah. So we talk about some of these way before they ever get on there, but that's okay.
Yeah. People can still hunt them down for free most of the time if they want to see them.
That is one thing I'm actually happy about that was not really planned, but a lot of stuff that we watch is is very easy to watch anywhere. Actually, one of the ones we're going to review tonight is one of the rare exceptions that is not. So, most of them have been. Iron Angels.
Oh, okay.
That was actually nearly impossible to get until they did restock the DVDs. It was completely out of everything. I got lucky. I got the box set immediately, and so I had it. Now the standard Blu-ray is available again. But it was not for a while. So when I originally wrote up the thing for that, I said, hey, I'm sorry. There's no way for you to see this unless you go to eBay and pay a lot of money. But I'm like, no, what? It's back. Woohoo! So, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I had something, but I don't. I did just watch the first episode of the Wednesday show.
Uh-huh.
And man, they've kind of turned it into like Harry Potter meets School of Mutants. And it's very strange. Like, I mean, I think the way people access Wednesday Addams is very fascinating to me. Because my daughter is like a huge extrovert and loves the Wednesday show, and seems to like kind of miss the fact that Wednesday is that hates socializing. Like it literally hates people, right? I mean, she just wants to be left alone most of the time. And it's funny because we found ourselves stopping at a Wendy's today, and Wendy's has this giant Wednesday.
Oh God, I saw that stuff.
Yeah, it's terrible. So we were sitting there eating French fries out of our Wednesday adorned cups, and I looked at my daughter and I said, "Wednesday Addams would hate this." It's like if they were a real character, if they're a real person, they would loathe this.
Yeah, that's kind of the funny part is. And all that stuff is completely antithetical to the character.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And my daughter laughed. She was like, "Oh, it's not so bad." And I said, the funny thing here is that you're Enid. I was like, which is the werewolf roommate who is a huge extrovert. I was like, you're Enid. I was like, I'm Wednesday Addams.
Yeah.
And that's why this show has started on the idea that this new season has started on the idea that she's hugely popular now because, she saved the school. She's like Harry Potter, right? Suddenly she's like, everyone thinks she's great and she's awesome. And she's like, I don't want people to fucking look at me. And it's like, yeah, I totally get that. That's awesome. But beyond that, yeah, it's turned into like a weird Harry Potter meets School of Mutants. Because like everyone's got, I mean, everybody had kind of, everyone seems to have powers now. Whereas the last season there was like, everybody was some kind of monster. There just seemed to be like outright fucking powers now. Like, what is it? Pugsley. Pugsley now has Uncle Fester's like electronic ability, right? Except Uncle Fester would like put light bulbs in his mouth, right? And he couldn't be electrocuted. Whereas like Pugsley can actually shoot electricity out of his hand. And I'm kind of like, okay, this is an interesting evolution, but as far as I'm concerned, the high watermark for Addams Family is still the Raul Julia, Angelica Houston Addams Family movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better for me.
Yeah. But
the show is amusing. My kids are amused by it. I'm mildly amused by it. I love their cast. Billy Piper showed up. So I was like, oh, wow. I was like, so Billy Piper's there. Steve Buscemi's there. And Tim Burton must have a way larger budget this time because he had a whole bunch of stop motion animation in the first episode. So I'm kind of sitting there going, yeah. I was like, Netflix was like, oh, this is a really big moneymaker for us. Quick, throw money at it, you know. But sometimes money can ruin a show, so it'll be curious to see if. And I think they're trying to turn it also into like just a full blown mystery show where like every season's a mystery. So, but like, yeah, it's just it's interesting, that idea of having your main character be a character who cares about certain people, but otherwise wants to be left the fuck alone, and then having them be the center of all this attention, where it's like, you know, we've got tie-ins with Wendy's, you know what I mean? Like it's the opposite of what the character would want. So, yeah, but I mean, I guess it's classic, isn't it? I mean, like Sherlock Holmes would, you know, not want to have anything to do with most of the people that read his books or read the books
That's
about
true.
him, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, that's about all I had. Didn't
Well,
really,
I am at 90 hours of, what do you call it?
deliveries?
Death Stranding 2. Yep.
Yeah, but
And
are
I'm
you
still only on chapter 7.
Okay, I was going to say, you're still not that far, though, because deliveries...
No, because I think there's 16 or 17 chapters. And I had done a 5, I don't know, within the last year, where I talked about the fact that I don't like long games anymore, which is true.
Yeah.
I don't have as much tolerance, but this is one of those exceptions.
Well, it's also, you're making it
fun.
long. Like...
Yeah, I'm trying to do everything.
You could play this game and be done with it if you really wanted to, but you're trying to luxuriate in the experience.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
no, enjoy it. And that's the thing, is there's games that are needlessly long, that are like long and slogging. Whereas if you don't feel like you're slogging, then they've done it right.
No.
So, take as much time as you want. Listen,
I do like the fact that the game does not appear, so far, the game has not really discouraged me from doing anything. I've gone into some rough areas that I know I'm not supposed to be into. But it's structured in a way where you don't hit a wall. You can't go out into the water. You can't go in the ocean or you will die.
You just got to be more careful.
No, you will die. But
no,
that's because the ocean is tar.
In the rougher areas, you have to be more careful.
Well, really what it says is, okay, if you fall, you're going to die. You might run out of your battery, and then you'll have to walk all the way back. If you're fine with that, it's going to take you hours.
Oh,
it's just very hard to navigate.
They punish you the way Eve does, right? Where everything is in actuality is so far away that, if you get all screwed up, then it's like you're paying for it.
Well, yeah, because what happens is, the way the game progresses, there's points where you meet somebody and then they unlock their area, which means then you have access to essentially what you would consider power lines, where now there's power lines available for you in that area. But until you unlock that little, wherever that person is, the power lines are off, which means you have a finite battery. You can get a solar charger, but it only charges so much, and at night it won't work. I haven't bothered because so far I've come very close to running out of battery, but I've been able to avoid it. But that's how it discourages you, or it just makes it where because everything, any type of weather is detrimental. It's timefall. So it makes everything start to fall apart. So your car will literally just rust over time because there's rain hitting it. So if you go into an area that you're not really supposed to be in, inevitably it will start to snow or rain. And that will slowly make the car disintegrate. So in theory, you cannot...
What kind of fucking metal is a car made of? Jesus.
No, it's because of the rain. The rain is not normal rain.
Oh, okay.
It's called it's what they call time falls because it accelerates everyth's degradation. It's like, speeding up the passage of time.
Oh, wow.
So like if it hits your skin,
it kills you.
You get old. Your skin will age there, so you can in theory rot if it just kept falling on your hand.
What is the upside of being in this world? Like, is there anything good about this world, or is this just a post-apocalyptic world?
No, there was an event that created this weakness between the world of the living and the world of the dead. The world of the living is the world we're in. And then the world of the dead is where the dead are, but they cross over. They're the BTs, the beached things. The beach is where you go when you die. That's where the dead exist, on the beach. I don't know why. I think they explained it in the first game, but who cares? It's not important. And so when you go into these dangerous areas, these phantoms appear. Those are the BTs that you have to attack with blood. And specifically, the blood of people with a specific disease that means they can't die. That's the whole thing where, the camera goes down the throat and there's a baby down there. And I don't really know why. I've never understood that either. But that's what happens. And the babies are stillborn babies from mothers with the disease. They have to keep the mothers alive. And the babies stay in this state where they never age because they have a sensitivity to those dead people so they can detect them. If you don't have one of those babies on your chest, you don't know where they are. And so they can grab you and pull you into the tar.
Are the babies alive or dead, or they're
They're alive, but they're stuck. They're just stuck as infants in those jars.
Interesting.
And basically, in the first game, they realized that that's horrific and a torture, and they put a stop to it.
It is.
But there's still some of them around.
Oh.
But, so there was this whole thing where the person who was the president, they were secretly allowing this whole program to go because they realized that you're dead. No, it was the main character's mother was an extinction level entity that would inevitably destroy everything except you stopped it, sort of, but not permanently yet.
So your mother is an extinction level event?
Yes, and in fact, if I remember, the mother is also not really the mother, and she's not really alive. She's like a twin phantom who got split or something.
Jesus.
I don't remember. Yeah, it's a very dense mythology, which honestly doesn't matter all that much because it doesn't. It doesn't because it doesn't. This is a game about moments. The moments matter. The overall story arc should not. Don't try to make it make sense. It won't. It's one of those things. It's Lynchian in that way. In that if you really try to put logic to everything that happens in a Lynch film, well, then why are you watching it? You're watching it for the moments, the characters, the things that happen. And there's kind of a loose mesh over it. And in this game, the mesh is that Sam's daughter, who they never even determine who the father of this kid is. It might be Sam, it might be somebody else. I don't think it's ever really said. That kid dies at the beginning of the game. And that actually has caused the biggest problem for me. I told you about this. Because now that the child is dead, I don't care about the dead version. So every time it cries, I just get angry and try to make it cry more. I just piss it off until it just shuts up because it's a dead child now to me. And I don't know why, but that's the one part of the game that now I hate.
Well, it's because, you're not a parent. That's why. Thank you.
Well, I also think because I don't like the fact that they killed the kid in the beginning.
Let's put it into a different context, right?
Sure.
What if it were his dead dog?
Yeah, that would be different. But
and the dog, and when the baby cries, it's the dead dog whimpering.
Yeah. Well, I think I would still get angry that they were doing that at all.
Oh, absolutely. It is a fucked up thing to do, but you have to. I believe in trying to find a connection point so you can understand something, and at least.
Oh no!
Manufacture a sense of empathy.
The thing is, I don't.
Yeah, it's not a component of the game you like.
Well, in the first game, it was a much better setup because you really didn't know the character of Sam, the main character.
Yeah.
That character was basically had withdrawn from the world and was extraordinarily misanthropic and antisocial. Wanted nothing to do with anybody. And the child, because the child was protecting him by detecting these things, they started to have a bond. And so the child was bringing him out of his shell. There was an organic nature to it that I thought worked well. In this one, he's completely fucking broken because they killed his daughter, or the child he had considered his daughter. And so now it's just traumatic. So it irritates me because I'm like,
why did they kill the daughter? Is there?
Because there's an attack and he's not there, and the woman who was trying to defend the daughter gets shot, and then they're on a motorcycle, and the motorcycle wipes out, and because of the impact, the daughter dies. So she tried to escape because I think there's going to be. I haven't finished the game yet, but I think there's going to be something where they were coming for the daughter for some reason. And so I think that's what it is. And Fragile, who's the character that was watching the daughter, tried to escape on a motorcycle. They shot the motorcycle and her, and when she wiped out, the kid died from the impact.
Got it.
So, yeah. So it was,
Yeah, I mean, it's heavy.
Oh, it is. But like I said, that I think it's partially that, too. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
I don't know if it's a world I'd like to spend my leisure time.
Well, the interesting part is it still is the weird inversion of the game is that the world, as you said, is miserable to a degree, but it also isn't because, and I guess this is the planned irony, the main character is bringing people together and basically restoring human connection. That's all you're doing. So, in fact, I just found the pizza chef, which is great, who was actually, they were doubling him. So the first pizza chef you meet is not the real one. And then you basically allow him to reopen his pizza shop, which in this world is the most nonsensical thing you can imagine. It's like having a Pizza Hut be the important thing in Fallout. Like, where you literally are delivering. At one point, I delivered something like 30 pizzas somewhere. And I had to make sure that they didn't tip over, because that would ruin the integrity of the pizza.
Got it.
And you just sit there and go, and plus his pizza parlor is right near an enemy camp. I mean, it's within a 15-minute walk of a bunch of scumbags.
Well, then you know what? They get pizza pretty quick then, I bet.
I guess, yeah. But now one of the things he does is he gives you a pizza suit so you can look like a pizza delivery person. It doesn't make any sense. But
yeah, but it's those little things that make games more fun.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know?
So, like I said,
you have to make light of the apocalypse, I guess.
Yeah. And like there's an animal sanctuary where I'm bringing them animals so that they can protect them. So there is that. You basically put them in a little thing, you bring them over, and they take care of them. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's a very Animal Crossing like slant to all this.
It's a very
it's
interesting game.
It's like Solid Snake plus Animal Crossing plus oh man, what's that other game? I just had it. Shit.
What are you doing it?
I just totally blanked. I was thinking of Solid Snake and Animal Crossing, and that just screwed me up. But yeah, it's there's an absurdity to it, but there's also I mean, this is a lot like a lot of the Asian movies we watch, where it's like they go from like 100% absurd to like deathly serious in like moments.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the world you're playing in, where it's like, this is ridiculous. Right. Now it's serious. You know, it's like you just switch over so fast. You know?
But it does, because you're saying it's not a world you want to be in, but the effort is to make people's lives better. So you're kind of reversing all of this.
Well, it's nice in that, yeah, at least that's what you're doing. You're not making it worse, you know?
Right.
But,
no, you're reconnecting people.
More and more often, I find fewer game worlds that I actually want to spend time in. You know, like there's worlds I'm fascinated by, like Baldur's Gate. That world is fascinating, but that's sword and sorcery. I've always loved that world. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's a very colorful world. There's lots of creatures, you know. And even though you are potentially dying of a, brain amoeba that's going to turn you into a squiddy face, it's an interesting world, you know. And even like Fallout 76 somehow manages to be very funny, even within the desolate mange of it all, I guess, you know? Yeah. Like there's funny costumes and there's funny, you got a lot of weird personalities and so I guess but even the Fallout 76 world, I mean, that world used to get on me now and then and like kind of bum me out. 'Cause, I mean, it's fascinating, but there is when and if you actually realize what you're doing, it can get to you. You know, like that's the thing, is like you playing this game, if for a moment you sit there and you think, this is what has become of the world in this game. It can be very heavy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
No doubt about it.
But luckily, your attention is drawn to the fact that you are trying to make it better.
Yeah, specifically by building roads.
There you
Never
go.
has city infrastructure been so fascinating to me. I mean, I never skip the animation when it builds the roads. It's great. Or the monorails. The monorails are really fun because you ride them in real time.
Oh,
and
yeah?
You can put it into first person and just look at everything as you go over it. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, don't get me
that's
wrong.
fine.
None of them. I think they'll tell you. Most of them, I think the longest one might be 6 minutes. But you're just looking at the world as you're kind of hanging from it.
Remember in EVE Online, like if you did a cross, like a jump from one side of the galaxy to the other, it could take hours.
Yeah, it could. Yes, it's exactly that type of thing. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. At some point or another, in this effort to make games more realistic, you start entering into real time, into real distance. And it's like, is that a good thing? Or I mean, it's fascinating because it's like you don't. I'd love for there to be I mean, does the game have an option? Can you skip it or you can keep it?
The monorail specifically, I don't believe you can skip, and the reason I think is because it's loading the world in the background, because that's covering. Because as you're driving, or walking, the game can load as you're going.
Yeah.
But because the monorail moves so far, so relatively quickly, I think that's because it never loads. There's no loading in the entire world. You can drive
as long as it keeps you in real
year.
time, then it can kind of load as it goes.
That's what I mean. And that's the only time you can't skip something. So I believe that's wise because you're covering so much ground in one shot. And
but that's the thing,
normally,
as these games, as these games become more complicated and stuff like that, it's, what was it? I'm trying to remember the game. Watch Dogs London, right? Driving from one side of London to the other.
Legion, that's what
it was, Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah. Well, you're right. That's what it is.
Driving from one side of the city to the other. It took a while. I mean, even the last Grand Theft Auto, the one that's still out now.
Well, I mean, Fallout 76 never loads, and you can run from the top to the bottom.
And it takes a while to get from one side of that map to the other.
But because there's no vehicles, especially in that one.
Yeah, and it's neat that you can at least zip to the train stations.
Yeah, and then there's zip lines, which are great. And those, but again, those you can't skip, I think, because you're covering so much ground. So I think even if you could skip it, it would have to load, and that would probably be more disruptive than just...
More annoying, yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, too, it is... I have to admit, I don't know that I would ever skip it, because it is really nice to just look at the landscape going by from that angle, because you're never up in the air like that, so it's rare.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So,
as long as it's done well, it can be very good. It's just this idea that, we enter into video games world so we can kind of skip the boring. And then as games become more real, more of the boring aspect of real life gets into the game.
Well, that's what you're talking about. It's what a lot of people don't like, which is survival horror, where you have to eat and you have to rest and all. And I don't like those games.
Yeah, everything rusts and falls apart. And
and it's like everything breaks and everything. It's just a headache.
Make sure you wipe your ass after you shit. It's a mini game.
Yeah,
and I
it's
hate that.
rare when I like those games. Fallout 76 is technically that, but it doesn't matter because they've made it so minimal that a lot of the things that it's not as detrimental. They've lowered how much that really hurts you in that game now, which I think was smart compared to when it started.
Mm-hmm.
So now, not eating. I think in the original game, if you didn't eat, you couldn't move after a while. Now it never gets to that point. You just go slow. So it's trying to kind of encourage you, but it's not stopping your progress.
Yeah.
No. So.
One day they will perfect the game, and then we will discover that it is life.
Well, and some people like those games. They like, doing stuff like that.
People like to hang out in all kinds of weird worlds.
I mean, one of the most popular games on Steam for a while, if not still, was Power Wash Simulator, which is just you washing things. And I can understand the appeal of that. I can. I haven't played it, but I can understand it. So everybody has their thing.
Just cleaning the car, the virtual car. Yeah.
I literally think
the virtual dirt.
You put somewhere.
Virtual car.
Or buildings. You go into a building and you just clean it. That's all you're doing. And it was number one for quite a while.
Where you power wash giant nude statues of women.
Oh, if you think somebody hasn't done that.
Probably.
Yeah, if you think somebody hasn't done something like, hot babe wash simulator.
Honestly, what you do is you have to make like a hot babe feet simulator. Simulator, like where you just wash feet. I'm sure that game would go off like gangbusters.
If somebody did it properly, they would have. Remember in Total Recall where the woman's like, the tech is like, all right, tell me what kind of woman you like.
Yeah, you could pick the type. Yeah,
yeah. You would say, okay, pick 3 things you like off this list: feet, butts, pissing, stuff like that. You would pick the 3 things.
Well, that's that funny thing where it's like, was it when you see something? Do you ever see something and it's like kind of like
things, yes.
Hold on, and it's kind of trashy, but then you think, oh, you know what? Like that's kind of that trashy thing is kind of my thing. But then you almost feel bad because your wife is like, that's so trashy, and you're like, yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna quietly I'm not gonna mention that.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Listen, and I know for a fact that works the other way too. I'm sure there's things where she's like, I don't want to admit that.
You know what? I have come to the realization I have no idea how arousal or interest in women works. I used to think I did, and I used to think that we were all very similar in that respect, but I think that they're functioning on an entirely different system than we are. Because, I mean...
Oh, it can't be that different. I mean, my wife likes John Cusack, and I can understand that. Like, I get it.
I know, but it's the whole... would you date you? Would you marry you?
Would I marry me?
You know what I mean?
Well,
it's the whole you look at your wife and you're like, what are you doing with me? Like,
Well, okay, there is that, but I think that is more mental than physical.
Well, I think there's far more mental to it than I ever realized.
Well, yeah, there is. I mean, there is.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are sexy men out there that you look at and you go, oh, he's a work of art. But it doesn't. I don't think it has the same effect that a sexy woman has on men.
Oh no! Yes, you are correct in that it is not a.
It's different. Yeah.
That. In many cases, it is more of the emotional and intellectual thing that women are drawn to, as opposed to ripped pecs that are glistening.
Funny can I honestly,
I feel like that's one of my only edges is that I am funny.
I feel like someone should make a chart. What certain personality aspects equal in physical aspects? So it's like if you're really funny, is that the same as having like really nice pecs? Or is being really kind as good as having washed?
There are physical elements because apparently for me it's my forearms and my butt. Apparently I have a nice ass. I don't know how.
You don't have an ass. What are they talking about?
Okay. Yeah, I do. I do not have a flat ass. You've never seen. There is a curve there. There's a curve to it.
That's fine.
I have. Okay, I'm going to do this very specifically while still being vague. There is a woman who was in a TV show we both like, who we saw a picture of with her ass, and it was very flat. You know who I mean, right? It's a science fiction show.
I don't know.
That was on the Sci-Fi Channel. Whatever. It was the girl from Farscape. Remember? The girl from Farscape.
Oh, Chiana.
Yes.
Yes. She has no ass. It's crazy. Yeah.
Right. That I don't have. I do not have that. There is a roundness to it. I'm not saying you can't bounce a quarter off. Well, actually, no. I do have some. You know what? I do have. If I flex, no, I do. There is something there. No, I can get muscle. I can harden it. Yeah, I can.
I find this whole conversation to be absolutely hilarious.
No, yeah, I do.
I mean, precious.
My ass is all right. Precious. I can say that because I've had more than one woman in my life romantically tell me that, so I do believe it.
Have you seen videos of gorillas get up on 2 feet and run across the pen?
Yeah.
That's me.
Well, I mean, you're kind of barrel. You're barrel shaped.
I'm just a hairy gorilla.
You're
Donkey
Kong. You're Donkey Kong. That's what you are.
I'm a hairy gorilla. Yeah. But you know what? Actually, what's really fascinating? Speaking of asses, gorillas don't have asses. When they stand up straight, there's like nothing there. It's really weird.
Well, it's just like their leg, isn't it? It just forms into their leg.
Yeah, it just seems to go up.
Voltron-y thing.
It's strange. Yeah. It's a Voltron thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just reminded me. My son and I had an intimate conversation about the nature of combiners in the Transformers universe. We were discussing the idea of what happens when somebody's bad at being a body part, and like the kind of internal struggle that must occur when someone if you have got someone who's a bad left leg, you know, and you just made me think of that, you know. Yes.
Anyway, my point was that that there are physical elements, but it's not. I agree, it's not the same.
I have no idea. Yeah, I do not know what they are.
It isn't as okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, there is the concept of the himbo. So there are men who are completely devoid of anything but physical appeal. Yeah,
that registers the same way.
I know. Well, of course not.
Yeah.
No. I mean, you're talking about a completely different.
There are
physical,
far less trophy
like
husbands than there are trophy wives. I'll put it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about. What the hell were we talking about before we got here? We were talking about the apocalypse.
How did we get to that?
I have no idea.
Boy, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember how we got there.
So
we're talking about Fallout.
Yep, no, it's fine. You know, in closing, you know, I don't understand how women are attracted to men, and Joe definitely has an ass. So
I do. Yeah.
Do you
and it's nice, apparently. I mean, everybody has an ass of some kind. Everybody, except apparently gorillas. But apparently mine is generally favorable, whatever that means. By the way, I don't work at that. That's just an accident. I'm not doing anything to make that happen that I know of. That's either just genetically I lucked out, or I'm unintentionally doing something to make that happen. But it's not that I'm working on.
This is the most reluctant sell of a product.
Well, because I'm not selling anything. But
it's definitely there. People have said it's there.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is there are exercises.
I know. Listen, I know there's fucking. I know there's fucking. There's a whole weightlifting regime built around having an ass.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. There's specific pieces of equipment. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Man.
Yeah, I don't know how we got to that. I really don't.
No, but
I don't know. And I am funny sometimes.
What's that?
And I can be funny. So there is that.
Comedy goes a long way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does. I think you're right.
I don't think I'm funny, but I do like to think that I'm quick. I think I'm getting less quick with age, but
wit is a type of funny.
Wit. I have the wheat.
Yeah.
I like to think, but you know what? That's like such a trap, isn't it? It's like everyone thinks they're witty, you know.
Well, yeah, you're right about that. Many people think they are, even if they're not.
I think the moment you think you're funny, you're in deep shit. Like you can think you're a little funny, but the second you're like, I'm fucking hilarious, you're like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows? It's a crapshoot.
It's comedy is also subjective, so it's tough to, you know.
That's very hard as well. Yeah. I mean, I've told you about when we used to watch like we stopped watching stand-up with our oldest because we realized that there was just this massive age gap in what we thought was funny.
Sure.
And we were like, okay, because I mean, there's, you know, sometimes you can sit down and watch something and be like, okay, I don't need a culture war. I can just laugh at the stupidity of this. But yeah, I found that with a lot of younger people, it's all culture war. So you're like, just don't bother. You know, don't watch that show. Watch something else. Watch a documentary.
Sure.
Watch a history. Yes, histories are fun.
Watch a history.
Yeah.
I agree. Watch a history.
Context is good. Oh,
Generally,
God.
yeah.
I'm just thinking of all the weird shit going on right now in the world. And 40 years from now, if we're still here, people looking back and being like, I was fucked up. And you being like, yeah, it was.
Yeah. Sure was.
It's like talking to World War II vets where you're like, that shit was fucked up. And they're like, yeah, it was.
Well, it's like basically now 9/11 is far enough back that,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
because there hasn't been anything else like it.
Since, yeah.
So now younger people don't really understand the impact of it. That was not meant to be a pun. I'm just saying that they don't understand the difference.
I
realized it when I
didn't even
did it.
see that until you pointed it out.
I thought of it as I was saying. I'm like, shit. And yeah, but what am I going to do? But the psychic repercussions.
No, because they're not living in that culture anymore. It's a dead culture as far as they're concerned. They're beyond it.
Well, not only that, but there has not been something of that
COVID.
scale.
COVID was the next big thing that happened.
Yeah, but COVID wasn't a single bunch of people dead, horrific visual thing.
It was an ongoing multi-year,
Yeah, it was a
stress
slow
situation.
burn, and for a lot of people, they may have known one or two people who got sick or that died, but they didn't see a building collapse and understand that thousands died when it happened.
Yeah, they didn't see people fall out
They
of the
didn't see
building.
people jumping out of windows.
Yeah, I said fall. Really, it was jump. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, both, I'm sure. I mean, some people probably
and that's why,
were driven through the windows.
Oh God, what's that book? Oh my God, with the Great Machine, the guy who can talk to machines, who ends up the mayor.
Oh yeah, oh God, what is that called?
What was that series called? Shit.
I know exactly what you mean too. The guy who could fly and he stopped 9/11.
Yeah, and he saved one of the buildings.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he stopped the building from collapsing. Is what I mean. God, what was that called?
Oh yeah.
Jeez, who wrote that? Ellis?
I don't even remember. Was his name
Machinist
Million
or something?
Well, he was called the Great Machine. Remember that was his
okay, I can find it from that.
Yeah, he was the Great Machine, and he could talk to machines. Any machine.
God, we're Ex Machina. I was going to say,
Machina,
I knew there was an E in it. I'm sitting there going, there's an E in it.
Yeah,
how can I not think of what this is?
The beginning of Ex Machina rings very true for people who read that book as it came out, whereas I think today, it's just not going to, Yeah,
well, I think they'd literally be like, okay, so he stopped the building from collapsing, so what? But it's like, yeah, because you don't understand what that building was and what that event was and the fact that they're, terrorism. I remember, I think it was maybe on West Wing where they were saying, terrorism used to just be something they tell you about. It's a phrase, but you don't really know what it is. And anybody who was alive when that happened, you had a visceral understanding that it was commercial airlines.
Yeah.
And anybody could have, there were recordings of it. Like it was a modern media terrorism event.
Yeah.
Where you saw it and you heard it and you understood it.
And you knew
whereas like the
who
Hindenburg
died
going down, I mean, the Hindenburg, you understand what it is, but because the media was so bad, it's almost comical.
Very few people died in the Hindenburg fire.
No, in comparison, no, it's very few. But they've basically memed the goddamn audio at this point.
Yeah. But what I mean is, I think it was only 10 people.
Yeah, that's probably right. No, that's what I'm saying. Is it was much less. The Hindenburg was, let's see, how many people died?
Let's see.
No, it was 35.
36.
Of the 97. There
you go.
35 fatalities.
There you go.
62 survivors.
Yeah, which is, and 9/11 is, thousands.
It's 20-something hundred, I think.
And not even counting all the people who died from the cancers
exposure
afterwards.
And everything else.
Yeah. Oh, hey, here you go. Here's a nice chart for you. September 11th was 2,977 people who died at the center, right? And actually, that includes the Pentagon and in Somerset County. So that's all three planes.
Right, yeah, that's true. In total.
Oklahoma City bombing was 168. The 93 World Trade Center bombing was only 6, and the Boston Marathon bombing was 3.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. As far as numbers goes, it was tremendous.
Yeah.
So.
But also, like I said, there's very, very good video of the entire thing.
Oh, yeah.
It happening and everything after it.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Hindenburg, the video is of it on fire,
Yeah. Well,
but you don't really see anything after that because there was nothing left. Like, that's it.
No,
Whereas
and if you,
with 9/11, there were days where there was just smoke and misery, and you saw it all.
Hold on. I want to see what the aftermath.
Aftermath meaning like pinch people afterwards?
All right.
One thing 30, I thought, the estimates were 6 to 25,000.
34,000 cancer cases have been linked to the attacks.
There you go.
There have been over 68 different types of cancers.
Sure.
Yeah. And most of them are attributed to,
It was all hot, toxic shit in the air.
Yeah. You see that fucking wave of just like...
Yeah, the smoke.
Yeah.
And you sit there and go, oh, well, at least they weren't there. It's like, yeah, but they breathed that. If you
but they
lived
were
there, you could not breathe it.
Yeah. Honestly, it must really suck to have had an apartment anywhere near there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't even... I can't even imagine what it would be like to live within that smoke area.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't stay.
I mean, not only that, and not to be grim about it, but the thing I would be thinking is I'm smelling people.
Yeah.
It's all just melted steel and human beings.
Yeah, I'm sure the smell...
Because I would imagine it didn't just smell like a campfire. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Right? Campfire's a great smell. I love campfires.
No, I've had a lot of experience with demolished buildings because my father used to renovate them when I was younger, and he used to go to these demolished buildings and bring me with him, and I would get to climb around these death traps, and there's like it's not a nice smell.
I wouldn't think.
It's like I mean, it depends on the time. I feel like most of the time, by the time we saw them, they were like dank. They were dank, destroyed. Like it's not a campfire. I mean, you know that there's a difference between burning wood and then like burning everything else. Even when you burn plastic and you're,
I am very familiar with burned plastic smell, as you well know. I know what that smells like.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? You know when you burn the tip on nylon rope to cap it off.
Oh yeah, God. Ugh.
Yeah, just take that and multiply it like 1,000, and that's probably
burning
close.
Hair too. Burning hair's another one.
Oh yeah, burning hair smells terrible. But yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah. So I'm sure
But that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I was in South Jersey at that point, so like I was nowhere near, but I was near in the sense that I had a lot of people who were connected to it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I worked with a guy who couldn't get a hold of his wife for I think 3 hours, who worked there.
Oh my God!
And fortunately, she was fine. She was not in the building when it happened.
No, my
and she probably would have been fine because I think she was only on like the 4th floor, so she would have probably been fine.
My father's friend lost his pregnant daughter and her husband. She was pregnant, so she was very pregnant too, like 8 months or something like that. And there were no elevators, and she couldn't get down. And she called her father to basically say goodbye, which I'm sure that's a great fucking phone call to get. And then she called her husband, and her husband was on one of the lower floors of, I can't remember which tower they were at. And he was like, I'm coming to get you. And he was going up. She couldn't get down because she was very pregnant, and they both died when the tower went down. And in that situation, it's like, if that's a really tough one, isn't it? Like, I guess they tried to convince him to leave. The husband, like he called his parents.
I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't leave.
Exactly, right? Like, could you ever really live with yourself at that point?
No, of course not.
No,
because even if it's a 0.1801% chance you could have gotten her out, you could have gotten her out.
Yeah.
So you're never going to get away from that. I don't care.
And that's the thing is,
if you got out, I would imagine you end up as an alcoholic, or you just kill yourself.
Yeah, there's so many stories like that orbiting around like me. Sure. So it's and that's the thing too. It's like,
well, my cousin was a beat cop in New York City and had to go in to the wreckage.
Wow.
And he won't talk about it. And I don't expect him to ever talk about it. No, he's never talked about it. But I mean, I would never ask him about it. Why would I?
And I think that's the thing is that there are these event mythologies that come up around these these times. And when they first happen, they can almost be national, but then after a while, over time, they steadily go back to being more local. So I think 9/11 is becoming more and more of a localized event mythology because
Oh yeah.
it really only affects the people who actually live in this area, who have history, who've lost people. You know what I mean?
Well, I told you when I did my last class to get my degree, when I was twice the age of everybody else in the college class I was in, and it was a media class, and I talked about 9/11 as a person who experienced it live, and the whole class was like, because to them, it's like reading about World War II for me.
Yeah,
I can understand it, but I can't be there.
I'll tell you something kind of interesting, though, speaking of younger generations and whatnot. So my daughter recently came back from a sleepaway camp. They were gone for like a week. And they weren't allowed. I was told they weren't allowed to bring music. Right? But that's not actually what the rules were. The rules were you were not allowed to bring your phone smart device. Right? Apparently there was a girl at this camp that showed up with a Walkman and a whole bunch of mixtapes. And everybody was like, the fuck are those? And that was perfectly fine. You just weren't allowed to have smart devices. And I was like, that's so funny that somebody actually stopped and was like, you know what? I can bring this. This is fucking stupid technology. We're allowed to have this. And it's like, yeah. Yeah, because that would drive me crazy too, not to have, I don't like to go without music for long stretches of time. But I just, it's that age gap. And what it means to us. But yes, the thing is California, various parts of California have their own localized mythologies. The burning of LA is going to mean something very different to people who live out in LA than to me. I feel horrible about it, and I have a lot of empathy for it.
Yeah, but it's not something you really know.
No, it isn't. Yeah,
I'm the same way where I'm like, yeah, it's fire. I got it.
Yeah, and so for them, it's worse. It means a lot, and that's the thing is that some of these events can get elevated to national, but then over time they just dwindle back down into local mythologies.
Well, I think maybe it was the time before. I think it was 2 times back when we flew out.
Yeah,
we went down and everybody went to the 9/11 museum, including my wife.
Yeah,
I didn't go. I was like, I'm not going in there. I remember it fine. I'm good. But my sister was very young, and my wife was out in California. I'm not really sure why my mom went, but I was like, nope. I just stayed in the first area. I'm like, I already know everything I need to know about this. I don't need to relive.
Yeah, I watched it happen.
Yeah, because there's a whole room where you can hear recordings. I'm like, why?
No, there's
why?
There's so
would
many.
I want to go in there?
It's like, listen, I went to enough of these funerals. I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah.
My girlfriend.
I don't want to see pictures of the people. I understand they died. I got it. I don't need to see them.
And my girlfriend at the time lost her cousin. He was in one of the buildings, so it was like, it was all around. So it's I get it.
The only people who should go to that are the people who say it's fake or something, like the Holocaust. People who say the Holocaust didn't happen. Send them to those fucking museums.
We'll never believe it. It's all fake.
Yeah, no, but those are the only people who really need to see that. The rest of us understand what it is. In my opinion, I don't need to dwell in it.
Yeah,
but
it is interesting when you stop and think about areas and their local mythologies, because I told you about that thing in Halifax where I think it was before World War II, they had a munitions ship and a fuel ship collide in the bay. And I think it created the largest man-made explosion up until that moment until Hiroshima, right? It basically leveled 2 miles of the city. And it's this huge event. Never heard of it till I went to Halifax. Apparently, at the time, it was heard all the way down to New York City.
But so similar to that, one of the things that I think mystified these kids in this class when I was talking about 9/11 was, if you off the top of your head, do you know roughly what year Twitter was founded? When Twitter started? You have an idea?
No.
Take a guess. I'm just curious what your guess would be.
After 9/11?
Well, okay. Yes, after 9/11, but what year would you say?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
All right. Well, we tend to think Twitter's been around longer than it has. It didn't start until '08. So that's 7 years later. So when I was talking about the fact that nobody knew what was going on, they couldn't understand that.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing is that...
Because, if you remember, at one point they were saying that there was bombs going off on the National Mall constantly. Everything's on fire. For like 2 hours, everything was, we were under active attack everywhere.
Yeah, they weren't sure what was going, if this was part of a larger thing.
Because there was no instant way of saying, here's what's happening, here's a video, here's it's fine. And that I think was the part that
they didn't know what was going to happen with that third plane for quite a while there as well.
Yeah. But I think is the thing that really locked their brains, was the idea that you can't get an instant report.
Communication. Yeah, and that thing is, today we live in this age where it's like, oh, there's communication, there's cell phones and this and that. But like, I was trying to explain to my kids this idea that like, of not being able of being reached. Of going out and there being no way to call you, and that if you needed something, you'd have to call like home on a house phone if somebody picked up. Like there was this massive information blankout. And the funny thing is, like when I used to go to Europe, actually, even early days cell phones, I used to go to Europe and like I couldn't bring my cell phone, and I would just be in the media blackout for however long I was traveling.
Because at that point it was so expensive to use a cell phone anywhere.
And then internet cafes started to pop up, so you were able to like drop an email line, and then and now it's like you get service fucking everywhere, which feels weird because in one way it makes the world connected, but it also makes the world feel oddly smaller. I still kind of like that there are places where there's no service. Like it's annoying, but then I just like the fact that there are still places like that. Because we just take for granted that communication can just go anywhere, and that's why like in horror movies, there's always going to be some kind of like technology disruption. It's like, like in Stranger Things, like the electricity gets all fucked with, right? And it's like, your flashlight's not working. You can't just take a video. You can't call anybody. There's no service. It's like. Yeah, and so it's hard to communicate that to people, and to have them not be freaked out by it as well. It's like, oh no, like, like I was trying to explain to my kids, like I didn't get my first laptop till I was graduated from high school heading to college, and that before that I was in a word processor. I was in a word processor all the way through college. I mean, through high school. My wife. Her father was a programmer, like an early days programmer. So he actually had like computers in the house, but like computers, like, was it 1 megabyte on a giant floppy disk type shit? I mean, she really experienced the full evolution of computers. But it's like, I didn't even have that. Like my family didn't believe in that kind of technology. They thought it was weird that I wanted a computer. And then now today, they hand kindergartners laptop or Chromebooks practically. The amount of screens that we are encountering now, and at such a younger age, it's just insane compared to. I mean, think about what your day was like. Let's say mid college, right? So you're like, you're a sophomore, junior college, right? What does your technological day look like? Well, there's no cell phones. There's no smartphones. So you have a cell phone, but it's a flip phone. All you can really do is call people, right? Texting sucks, right? Your computer is probably hooked to the high-speed internet of your school, if you're lucky. So that's pretty fast internet, but you're not really glued to it because your school probably doesn't have Wi-Fi. Or when did Wi-Fi become a thing, like a widespread thing?
Oh, definitely not when we were in college. Remember, we were all hardwired to T1s.
Yeah, so you're all wired in, right? So you can't really.
There probably was Wi-Fi, but my thinking is it was probably pretty slow. It's probably not great.
So you're wired down. So you do stuff at your computer, right? And then you have to leave. Amazon just really carries books. Early days eBay, kind of the wild kingdom. Nobody really knows what the fuck's going on with that. But Napster's the thing. And you're trying to download as much music as you can in the late hours of the night when internet speeds are slowest because most of campus is asleep, right? But like otherwise, you leave your dorm room or whatever you're living, you leave it. You've got your cell phone if you've got a cell phone, and other than that, there's no screens. You're not glued to your cell phone because all it is a fucking phone. You probably got a Walkman or a CD player
Or a Diamond Rio, baby.
or a Diamond Reel, which again has a tiny little screen on it. So the thing is, like, there is no massive screen addiction at this point. You know, I mean, video games at that point is the big screen addiction. People playing shooters on their laptops or having a PlayStation, right? That's where you get a lot of screen time. But beyond that, I mean, what else is there? And it isn't till you get smartphones, you get like technological mobility that suddenly you've got it with you all the time. You know, and the comedy of it is that like even early day, like the first iPhone, you know, it wasn't fast enough. The internet wasn't fast enough to be a problem. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff you could do on an iPhone 1, but like it wasn't world changing. But then better Wi-Fi, higher internet speeds, bigger processors, and then suddenly it's like, okay, this thing is just as fast as my laptop, and I can access it anywhere. And it's like, yeah, that's a different world. You know, that is a national mythology, and most people don't even see it because you spend a few generations living with something, and you just sit there and go, "Well, it was always like this, right?" You're like, "No, it wasn't. It wasn't like that in my lifetime." And I try to take that and then connect it back to my parents and look at their world and be like, yeah, how much of this has changed for you? You know, where it's like, I mean, there was no televisions for my mother. You know what I mean? Like didn't have electricity. My father had, I don't think he owned a television until he was older. Like, you know, they were pretty poor and you know, the TVs were expensive as fuck when they were kids. I mean, my mother-in-law was telling me that I asked her what technology like really innovated her life that she remembers, right? And you know what she told me? Can you guess what the technology is? So this woman is in her 70s now. What do you think was the technology that innovated her life that she remembers?
In her 70s?
She's in her
So you're
70s
talking
now,
about,
but
okay, so
but
that would
that's
be
that's I'm
back
giving
in
you
the
the span
50s,
of her
60s,
life, right? What do you think is the technology
70s.
that really made a difference in her life?
Well, if I'm going to guess at three, I'll probably
Okay,
be wrong.
go
I
ahead.
would say planes, TV, or radio.
None
I
of
mean, it
those.
could be the car too, depending, because the car lets you do things. But
Ballpoint pens.
okay, sure.
Because before that, they were using drip pens. You had to dip your pen in the ink to do your writing assignments. And then suddenly they had the technology that the technology became widespread enough that you had self-filling pens for kids and you didn't have to dip your pen. And she recalls having to like actually learn a whole new way of writing because you didn't have to like time your writing to your ink running out so you could redip it and keep writing. You know, suddenly it was oh no, the ink is just there. You just keep going. And you're like, yeah, a ballpoint pen. Like you don't even fucking think about that, right? You're like, that's a pen. That's just a fucking pen. But a pen's a big fucking deal if there's no pen, you know? It's all these little technologies that are really like very science fiction, but they're so mundane to us because we just grew up with it. You know, we just expect it. You know, so that it's like, oh my God, the hotel had no Wi-Fi? Holy shit. And meanwhile other people sitting there going, we didn't have pens when we were kids. It's like you guys have, you know, you guys don't even use pens now. You have keyboards. Or you just write on the screen with your finger, you know, like it's and that's why when I sit there and I say, how much more can we do? I sit there and go, the problem is that I just don't have the imagination to see it because it's going to be so many little things that add up, and then you won't even see it. You won't even realize that you're living in the future because it's so immense that you just don't even realize it's all around you. It's like a fish in the water. It's like every aspect, the plastics, the pens, the keyboard, the computers, the very technology used to compress the wood on this table, the inks in the and dyes used to print these graphic novels and magazines, and it's like it's all of it. All of it is some kind of technology that popped up at some point and changed things. There's a really great show that if anyone's kind of has a very mild curiosity about engineering, you should watch. It's Richard Hammond from Top Gear, and it's Engineering Connections. You can watch, I think, most of it on YouTube. But what's fascinating about that show is that Hammond takes modern technologies or a modern thing and says, okay, now let me explain to you how the technology where the technology for this comes from. And he does these really interesting things where he shows you how the technology of a bridge or something like that, how so many aspects of that technology are based off of these previous minor inventions that were used for other things. So it's like, the wing of a plane and how that, how that's very similar to like, the wing on a windmill, which is very similar to like the fin of a shark. And like, it's all these interesting things. It's like, where did all the tiny technologies that make this big futuristic thing, where do they all come from? And some of them are based on technologies that we've had for a while that were very over specialized when they were created. It's really fascinating. My son and I love stuff like that, whereas my daughter gets annoyed with us. But it's very cool. He's got a whole one on dams, which is really interesting, where all that technology comes from, and like, some of it is new, some of it is innovative, but then some of it is people taking old technologies and putting them together. You know, which I mean, you could say, say 1,000 years in the future, they'll look back and they go, and then they had smartphones, and people in the class won't even blink. They'll just be like, yeah, whatever. They had phones and they had smartphones, whatever. And they won't even realize that it was a big deal anymore because they're 1,000 years in the future and it all seems quaint to them at that point. You know, 9/11 will be some mythological thing that happened in New York City so long ago that no one even cares. The museums will have been torn down, and all these huge technological jumps will just be little blips. The same way that we look back and go, "Oh, look, Pearl Harbor was bombed." You know, so I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I
it is
went off on a rant
interesting
there.
because no, but you're right. It is this thing where because you don't know what area the next leap will be in, right? So I didn't even know ballpoint pens didn't exist way before that. I didn't know.
And the
that.
leap can come in a direction you're not even remotely expecting.
Sure.
Where you're sitting there going, "Oh shit, I didn't realize that was even a thing." But yeah. I mean, listen, laptops in schools. The fact that could you imagine telling freshman year college you that in the future high school kids will just be handed laptops as part of their school equipment?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I would imagine they'd be these big heavy things, and I'd be like, well, who would want it?
And you'd be like, shit, that's something that's very cyberpunk, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, it is. Yeah, and they're not great either. I mean, Chromebooks are bomb-proof, but they're not exactly the best computers. But then you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, motherfucker, you would have killed to have a Chromebook when you were a senior in high school. And they're giving them to kindergartners. It's like you would have murdered for that technology.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the comedy of it. With I guess we just lost our sense of grandeur, haven't we? Where we don't bask in the amazingness of all our technologies. I know the world. Listen, I know the world's going to shit. I know there's all kinds of horrible things going on. But for a brief moment, let's just stop and say, flushing toilets are pretty amazing. And let's not even get started on bidets, you know. And I've realized I have a fetish that I didn't realize I had before until I started using a bidet. So bidets are amazing. Uh, and I haven't even used one of those crazy Japanese super bidet toilets, which I've been told are absolutely divine. But I mean, all these technologies, you know. So just for a minute, let's just have a moment. Look
Yeah.
around your room and realize that you live in the future. You live in somebody's future. You're in somebody's
Sure.
science fiction novel.
Yeah.
So for a moment, just, enjoy it before you then get annoyed about the internet speed and, the signal and, why can't they get your pizza to you in under 30 minutes and, all that modern living. There you go. We've had our moment now. You got anything
Well, I
else
was
you
just
want to talk
thinking
about?
because
Yeah.
no, we go
Go
in a
ahead.
second, but you're right because I was thinking like people younger than us, there hasn't been that type. They grew up with internet to some
Yeah.
degree. Rough social media existed in the form of MySpace and things like that, and it's just changed.
Yeah.
So you're right. There hasn't been and cell phones.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I believe, if I remember, they said our generation is the last crossover one that remembers
Yeah.
pre-persistent internet. There has
Yeah.
not been a internet level thing yet. So you're right.
Yeah.
There is a lack of
And you know something?
astonishment because there
I
hasn't been something astonishing.
I sometimes feel guilty because I've kind of kept my kids from the technology a bit, which I feel bad because it's like I love the technology, but I have kind of kept them to the levels of technology that I had. So it's like, yeah, there's a PlayStation, and I let them play games on like their iPads and things like that. But like their iPads are primarily used for like music, movies, games. Like I haven't really let them get into any social media. My daughter has gotten into texting now with like their friends, and that scares the shit out of me. But they haven't figured out yet that all their texting pops up on like the family computer because it's all running through the family computer. So like if I get nervous, I can always look at what texting is going on the computer and kind of like monitor it. I don't like to do that. But you know what? I think I talked on the show how my daughter went missing for like half an hour. We didn't know where she
Yeah, yeah,
was,
yeah.
and the school didn't know where she was, and we figured out that where she was because her friend posted photos of a play practice that we didn't know there was. And I was like, fuck, she's at the play practice. And I had no knowledge of it. And it was just one of those things that kind of slipped through the cracks. But for half an hour, my daughter was missing and I fucking freaked the fuck out. And it's like that kind of thing, And then that's people who are like, oh, well, that's why you leave the tracker function open on the phone and things like that. But I feel bad that I haven't just let them have the full force of the internet. And yet at the same time, I'm kind of sitting there going, yeah, you guys don't have the awareness of repercussions to handle the full brunt of the internet. I was like, and because you're growing up without it, you don't know to look for it. You don't know that you don't have it. You just, and you hear about things from your friends, but luckily it's one of those things, you used to hear about shit from your friends and you're like, yeah, whatever. Like it wasn't necessarily your life. And I'm sure their friends have shown them shit. Listen, you can't get around that. That's kind of what friends are for, to, get in through the, to get in through the fence. But it's the fact that at home they don't have it. And because they don't have it at home and they've never had it at home, they're kind of like, yeah, whatever. And they aren't as bad, I've noticed, as a lot of other kids that we see. Like I go out to dinner sometimes with my family and I see like a whole family of people. Everyone's just looking at their phones. Like, no one's talking. They've just got their phones in their faces. My wife and I recently went out with my son when my daughter was away, and we went to this outdoor restaurant, and I have this policy of like, I have my phone out so I can see it if something pops up, but like I don't futz with it. It's just there. And my wife kind of has the same thing. And my son doesn't have a phone. Like he has a flip phone, so it's like he's not gonna look at his flip phone. So we're sitting there and we're talking shit and we're joking around and we look over and there's this kind of young, good-looking couple in this table across, and they're kind of half talking to each other, but they're both just looking at their phones, doing stuff and typing things. And they're having this kind of like malaise half conversation. And I'm like, Jesus, you're second screening each other is what you're doing. And I wonder how many people go through life second screening life because they're busy doing something online. You know, I got to take pictures of my food and post that online, or this or that and the other thing. And it's like I look over and I go, yeah, you know, I maybe this technology isn't as great as we thought it was cracked up to be, or maybe we just don't know how to use it. I mean, listen, fire, when used appropriately, can keep you warm, can melt metals. You can do epic things with it, but when you use it poorly, you can burn everything to the ground and kill yourself. Maybe that's at the stage we're at here, trying to figure out how to use the fire of the internet and not, you know, burn everything to the ground. There's going to be a few generations of sacrifice, I suppose.
If we're lucky. I mean, you're right, and that's the thing is, I just don't know what it's going to look like.
No,
especially now that you're compounded with all this AI shit. I really don't know what it's going to look like. Know what? Because we were just talking about the fact that at 9/11 you didn't have a way to verify anything. Well, now you're on the other side of it, where everything is synthetic, so you can't verify anything. So you're going back to that, except now it's with the oversaturation of information as opposed to.
Could you imagine? If a 9/11 event happened today with like the conspiracy theories and the fake news,
it does happen. The Gaza stuff there's constant fake shit coming out about that.
Yeah.
Where there's stuff where they're saying, "Oh, it's not as bad as they say." No, it's worse than they say, and I have no idea. I have no idea.
And reporters are dying, and you know they're basically cutting off the ability for people to report. I mean, listen, that's what it comes down to.
Unless you're there, you literally don't know if any of this stuff. Yeah. Obviously, something bad is happening, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah, and if you're there, you're in the line of fire. So
yeah. But literally, they could synthesize a reporter who died saying, "Oh, you know what? It's not as bad as people say it is." And how would you know that for weeks?
Yeah. Oh, you could have AI footage of them for a while.
It's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. You could now synthesize, like, let's say there was a reporter.
Well, he couldn't have died there because there's footage of him here in Greece, you know.
And in fact, the people who want one side or the other could make that thing talk to make their side sound better or worse. So again, you can't know.
So what matters anymore then, huh? Is
Nothing.
Is it really just down to what you can touch in front of you in real life?
Pretty much.
Is that what we're
Until,
back
of course, you start having a mental illness, in which case you can't even trust that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's all good news.
Reality is
God has fucked me in the ass so many times.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Speaking of which,
I give you credit, sir.
Is my specialty.
Indeed.
Well, yeah, but that, you know what, that one kind of undercuts the other one though, because if ass fuck is your specialty and God's doing it to you all the time, it kind of implies that you're in a good place. Like, yeah, those two have to be separated from each other. Unless that's God with a French accent telling you that ass fuck is his specialty and that you're getting it.
That's how I looked at it.
Oh, the interpretations.
See?
Oh, let's go talk about movies.
All right. It's time to talk some shit.
Okay, so
what is that
we watched
from?
a couple of movies. Oh, I just pulled that from somebody randomly online. The guy who was instrumental in creating the first Fallout game.
Oh, interesting.
He's basically lead designer. He said that at one point. I'm like, ooh, that's a nice piece of audio. I'll take that. So yes, we watched some movies, therefore we must play our jingle.
You shut the fuck up!
Thanks for killing my mom.
Yeah, no problem.
Just give me the essence of the thing, the juice, you know.
The juice! Give me the juice.
Right.
The movie juice, bitches. Give it to me.
So we're going to talk about these, not necessarily in the order we watched them, because I think we have more to say about Demons than we do about Iron Angels, because I already reviewed Iron Angels. I'd already seen it. So we're going to talk about Iron Angels
I
first.
have plenty to say about all three of these movies.
What's the third one? What the hell's the third one?
Do you not remember the third movie?
I mean, I know I saw it, but what was it?
You saw it. I was there with you.
No, because Demons is the only one I haven't seen previously. I've seen the
Yeah.
other movies before. What was the other one?
Yeah. Class
was
of
the other
1999, man.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's right. We didn't review that, did we?
No, we didn't. See, this is the problem with
that's
watching
right.
movies early in the week. Is that you get a whole week of life happen, and you almost like kind of forget that.
I have total recall of the film. I just couldn't remember we watched it.
No, but you forgot that we watched it.
Nah, that's okay.
No, that's why every movie we watch, I leave it out on my desktop. So every time I look at the desktop, I'm like,
Well,
movies.
all right. So then let's do Iron Angels first, because I think that's the one we have the least to say about. Unless you do. I don't.
You
I
want
already
to
reviewed
start?
it.
Hold on. You want to start with the best movie and then work your way. Oh, this is hard actually because.
Oh, what's the best movie?
Yeah, because I say that, but this isn't our usual. We watch something really great and we watch some trash type of thing because we actually watched three uniquely good movies for what they are, and I say that because I'm not usually a fan of like zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Iron Angels would be what I would call the best movie, but Demons is the most interesting one because of the surprises in it.
Yeah.
So I would say Demons would be the last one we would talk about because
you know what? Let's talk about Class of 1999.
We can go through the whole story
because it's a throwaway fun movie. We'll go to Iron Angels and end with Demons.
Yes.
So
Class of 1999.
I'm
technically.
I'm working on my
sequel.
summaries. Do you want me to give you my attempt at a summary?
That's great. That's great.
My ultra compact, right?
I now turn over to you.
Just give me the essence of the thing, the juice,
This is my attempt at an ultra compact juice. What do they call that when you compress the juice?
Concentrate.
This is my juice concentrate, right? So, in the future of 1999, the parts of the country have become massive demilitarized zones where gangs reign. There are still parts of the country that are doing okay though, but there are schools in many of those places that are completely out of control, and a government agency decides to take what are essentially Terminators, reprogram them, and try to use them as teachers. But the
now, to be clear, I don't think that's, just so we set it up properly, I don't believe that's clear to the people in charge of the school. They don't know these are warbots.
This is just my overall kind of my back cover copy, right?
Got it.
And so when they put these androids in schools, the aggressive atmosphere of the gangs essentially sets off their warbot Terminator software. And it goes from being we're going to teach to we're going to defeat the enemy. And hilarity ensues.
Well, it goes from we're going to teach you a lesson to we're going to teach you a lesson.
Yeah. You'll never forget, right? And basically it's the kids, the gangs, all coming together to fight the Terminator teachers. Honestly, it should have been called Terminator Teachers. Oh man, yeah, it's like they really got close.
It should have been called like Death Tension. Something like that.
Yes, Death Tension. Yes, that's good. That took me a second. Death Tension. Yeah. But either way, that's the super quick. That's my condensed explanation. Which doesn't, make up for the fact that this movie has an entirely insane fashion sense that is just like it's hilarious to watch. I mean, it's a future where they think that it's like tights and Adam Ant punk rock, and it's heavily steeped in like the 80s. I mean, you know what? This is almost very cyberpunk in the sense that cyberpunk is steeped in the 80s. So you get all the neon and you get all the punks and the grunt, like the all the style from that era, but injected into kind of high technology. And to some degree, you have that in this movie, that they think that people will be dressing like in future 80s. You know what I mean?
If the Warriors had been set 10 years later, this is what it would have been.
Could have, yeah. Yeah.
This is like glam punk warriors because
Yeah.
there's different
Oh,
gangs,
yeah,
different
glam
names,
punk
and they all
warriors,
have their stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're driving Mad Max cars, and they
Yeah.
have Terminator teachers. And then
Yeah.
Stacy Keach is on Planet
Oh.
X.
Stacy Keach with his bleach blonde hair and his you know what the worst part of this movie with Stacy Keach? I wanted him to do more. I wanted to find out he was
I wanted him to be a robot.
I wanted him to be a robot and that it was part of a secret plot to take over the world, or I wanted him to be a fucking alien or something. Like I wanted him I really wanted him to be stabbed and have like white blood shoot out like fucking Bishop.
The thing is, he has this striking appearance, whereas everybody else, even the people in Dayglow glam punk warrior gear,
Now he's piercing.
compared to him, are normal looking.
And he's sitting
They
there
just
drinking
look like
milk.
they've got terrible fashion sense. But he's embraced white as a color to his eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just go search for Stacy Keach, class of 1999, you will see what we're talking about.
Yeah, and Malcolm
It
McDowell
is a look.
is in this. But he only filmed for 2 days, and really, he's barely in this movie. In fact, the only good thing I can say about him is the scene where they kill him, they strangle him. It's very well done when they like reach their fingers into his throat. Like, I gotta say, the special effects guys were working their ass off, because even when things start to get Terminator and all like the flesh. I mean, dude, when they rip open the front of what's her name?
Pam Grier.
When they rip open the front of Pam Grier,
Yeah.
and she's got like one robot boob hanging out and all these like metal parts.
Yeah.
And she's walking around blowing shit up.
Flamethrower arm where she just melts her own hand off.
Yeah, I mean, all that. It's when it finally all goes off. It's like they just said, "Fuck it, we'll just all bets are off. Let's do everything." You got
That's what they were
motorcycles.
clearly saving all their time for. Was that? That's what it was.
Yeah. I mean, motorcycles in the schools and all kinds of gunfights, and people are getting killed left and right. I mean, the body count in this movie is tremendous, because by the time you get to the end, all the gangs are dead, all the robots are dead, all the teachers are dead. I mean, from what I can tell, like I think there's only 2 people left at the end of this movie. I remember saying to you, and now they're gonna get arrested.
Right.
But
well,
like
I mean, realistically, that's what would happen.
Like the one girl is now an orphan. The other guy's lost his brother. I mean, it is remarkably a very bloody movie, but it's played so fast and loose. It's actually like it's very fun. I mean, especially I think there's a moment in this movie where a Terminator has had a forklift driven through them, and they've had their head attached to something, and they're literally trying to rip the Terminator apart with its head, and it's already like partially melted, so it's like screaming, and there's like a head, and there's like metal parts, and I did not think when I started watching that movie that that's where we would end up in the end, that there would be like a forklift spinning around with fucking body parts and half metal,
No, because early on you get a very little bit where one of them peels their face back and you see the machine underneath. But then it's a very long time before we get anything like that. So you could be forgiven for thinking, oh, okay, we're just going to get little glimpses like, okay, he'll get shot and there'll be metal under the skin. And that's as much as we'll see. But no.
No, they go full Terminator in the end.
I mean, they built a whole torso and head to shoot to pieces on one of them where they blow the whole back of the head out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do.
And it is shot like practical. They're blowing that head up and you can see it just going to pieces and splattering all over the place. It's a cyborg head, but each of the robots is either fully or at least partially dissembled very, very clearly and on camera. Not, you just see it after the fact. You're seeing them moving around in those.
No, it's well done. When she melts her hand off into the torch, that's very well done. I mean,
that's great.
I'm sure, but yeah, they, I mean, and it's all, I mean, this is all practical effects. So people are on fire, people are being thrown through windows, people are, getting hit and whatnot. Like, this is a very fun movie. It's a fun 80s bad sci-fi movie. I've seen. I mean, I think at one point you asked if I'd seen this, and I was like, no, I don't think so. And I definitely hadn't seen this, but I've seen movies like this from that era, and I enjoyed
Of
them.
course.
You know, these are the fun. I mean, this is like the science fiction pulp novels that you would have read. You know, where you're like, it's just it's just adventure. Like it doesn't fully make sense, even does it? You know, it's like, oh, there's monsters in the center of the planet. You know, it's like, no, it doesn't matter. We're just having fun here. So yeah, Terminator teachers in the near future, going up against gangs, and I love that. You know, you root for the gangs. Like you get to this point in the movie, you're like, yeah. Whereas, like, I stopped and I thought about it for a second. I'm like, wait a minute. These gangs are assholes. I was like, I don't know who the good guys are anymore. I mean, Cody's the good guy in the movie because he's the one who's kind of, he doesn't want to go back to prison. He's just gotten out of juvie. He just wants to get done with school and just get out, right? I mean, that's essentially. So, and what's fascinating is that much to that moral imperative, the only two people who live at the end of this movie are Cody and the like the goody two shoes girl whose father's the principal. Like all the gangs are dead. Like all the the people who ran the program are dead. All the IT guys are dead. The principal who brought them in are dead. Stacy Keach is dead, which is a letdown. It should have had that. There should have been a much more glorious death to that man. But it's very fascinating that morally, they've killed both sides of the coin. Like you don't even have to sit there and go, "What will the gangs do now?" Because there's no gangs. They killed everything. And honestly, I wonder if in the universe of this movie, the government will look at this as a positive or a negative, because they wiped out the gangs.
I was going to say the trouble students are no longer a problem.
Yeah, I mean they lost. They lost their crew that was running it, but otherwise they only lost 3 Terminators, and they killed.
That's kind of the one downside is everybody running the program is dead, including Stacy Keach. So
yeah, but they still have these robots. That's the thing. Because remember they were at one point they mentioned how there was a whole shipment that was supposed to go to South America for an endless war, and then they redirected these 3. So that's the thing is they even have a shit ton more robots. And if you think Stacy Keach is the only businessman in the era who's trying to,
no, of course not,
no. So no, I thought this movie was great fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And it's got a really funny soundtrack. A lot of great hair band music. I mean, I think Billy Idol's in there. Was it Billy Idol, Motley Crue?
No, you're thinking of Demons. That's Demons.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I
now,
thought Billy
this
Idol
one had
was
the
in.
John Carpenter. Okay. I think there was. I don't think it was Billy Idol, but there was a song No, 9 Inch Nails. It was Head Like a Hole.
Oh, yeah, Head Like a Hole, man.
Yes, Head Like a Hole was in there because this was early on. So, yes, Head Like a Hole is featured at one point.
That's funny, yeah.
Which was astonishing.
Yes, it is, and it was there.
So,
could you imagine? I mean, I wonder how much it must cost now to get 9 Inch Nails.
Oh, I'm sure quite a bit. I mean, Disney did it for Tron, so a lot.
I know, but
you would not have got. You won't get him this cheap today.
No, you won't.
Even that song would not be this cheap today.
But you know how, like, normally I say a lot of these movies, watch them with friends, have a good time, have a good laugh. I would watch this one on my own. This is the movie that you could watch on your own. You could enjoy it. It's like it's a low brain impact movie. It's got a fuck ton of personality. Everybody in this movie has a fuck ton of personality. Even people who are going to die right away.
I think this movie is a riot. I really do. You notice we did not watch Class of 1984 because it's not as fun as this. So I was like, we're not going to watch that one. We'll watch this one because this one is just fun. Mm-hmm. It is, and you don't need anything from that first movie. So
no, and honestly, and the writing. I mean, the writing isn't even that bad. I mean, like, if anything, when I look at this movie, I look at the script and I go, okay, you know what? With more money, this could have made even more sense. Like, if you remade this movie, if you remade that script as it stands, right, and you did it with, like, we'll use Lethal Weapon money. We'll say $15 million, right? That movie would be way better.
Yeah.
Because the script is good. Like, the story is good. The idea is good. And you can have a lot of fun with the look of it. You know, in fact, I'm sure that there must be variations of this movie still being made today.
Oh, of course.
You know,
Absolutely.
robots in schools, shit like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm sure.
yeah.
It is.
But I got to tell you,
Lot
about
of
halfway through this movie, the main guy Cody goes through a costume change that is so bad. I mean, it's like distractingly bad.
It's the backwards hat.
It's the Adam Ant jacket with the bandana and the backwards hat. Like up until
Well,
that moment,
yeah,
like
but you on the commentary really hang up on that hat.
yeah, because that combination is so bad.
Well,
Like,
it's
and
the
they give
cherry
him,
on top of the shit cupcake. It really is.
and they give him this terrible gun. I mean, who puts a sight on a Mac 10? I mean, and that is this movie. It's a sight on the Mac 10. It looks great, but it's useless.
Comically, ridiculous, and it is. The whole thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, which is what makes it so much fun.
It's fine with it. It's doing that on purpose, and that's what makes it okay. There
But
was
I
a
will say-
spanking scene with one of the robots. That's all I'm going to
Yeah,
say.
well,
So-
and that's the only weird thing in this movie, and this is the part that makes it fun, is that once the robots decide to really go at it, they seem to really enjoy it. Like,
yeah,
that's
it's like they didn't want to be teachers; they just wanted to be murdering people.
yeah, they really just wanted to be warbots, and that's one of those
Yeah.
things. It's like, Arnold was given a lot of credit for the fact that his Terminator just seems very like just a killing machine. He's just a robot. There's no emotion there, right?
Right.
But like in this movie, it's completely illogical that they would respond that way. But then when they do, you're like, I kind of like the fact that like they're devious robots. And they're not devious because they're doing what their programming tells them to do, but they're like, it's the whole idea that if you're doing what you're meant to be doing, doesn't that feel good? And so
Sure.
the robots are more happy when they're doing the things that they are originally programmed to do,
Yeah.
which is, fight gangs. So, yeah, it was good. I liked it. I wouldn't advise anybody to see this. But, if you like the 80s.
If you watch the trailer and it seems like you'd be interested, you'll have a good time. It's that simple.
Yeah, I kind of put this in that category of like Van Damme's Cyborg, movies like that.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. It's one tier down. It's a tier down from the
Cyborg.
Terminator, that's all.
Cyborg 2. Remember Cyborg 2?
Well, I think I said Robot Jocks. It's like a Robot Jocks.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. It's that kind of era of movies. It's like
Yeah, and
low
it's that
budget,
level of
fun
kind of like,
science
okay, this
fiction.
is silly, but it's a good time. So if you're okay with that, you're gonna have a lot of fun with it.
And we did.
It does enough differently that you're gonna have a lot of fun with it.
I mean, honestly, there is a review in the fact that there are movies you've seen that you want to watch again with me. That itself is
Yeah.
a review.
Oh, it is.
That you thought
I
there's
agree.
something here I want him to see.
Yeah. And sure
and in
enough,
fact,
as I
of the
expected, you had a
movies-
good time with it.
Of the movies we watched, the 3 movies, only one of them you haven't seen.
Correct.
Yeah. So that itself says a lot about the movies. Mm-hmm. Which brings us to the next movie, which I also very much enjoyed, which is Iron Angels, which you've seen and you've
Iron
reviewed.
Angels. I
So if you-
raved about.
Yeah, if you look up, are our shows searchable? I don't even know.
Yeah, you can look for Iron. No, they're all there.
Yeah.
If you look up Iron
Yeah, so
Angels, it will come up. The 5 will
You
come
can
up.
hear Joe's review, and I can
the
tell
show.
you that Joe's review is 100% correct. It is a lot of fun. It is a very unique movie, though, and I have thought about this because you kept saying, why didn't this movie get as much credit as others? And in fact, while watching it, I did think to myself, how the fuck did I never see this? This movie's what, from like the 90s?
87. They were 87, 88, 89. They were 1 year apart.
87. Jesus fuck. Yeah. How did I not encounter this movie?
Yeah.
And then, other than the fact that it took a while for a lot of Asian action movies to kind of make it over, right?
Well, that's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you had an interesting commentary where you were saying that it was directed by a woman, which in that era is like very strange, right?
That's number one.
And that it's not a straight martial arts or straight kind of shooting movie, right? So, Hard Boiled, right, is a shooting movie. It's not a martial arts movie. It's all gun fu, whatever if you want to call it, right? The art of shooting and doves.
Yep.
this movie has elements of, the glamorized gun movie, but then also has martial arts sequences. And actually, what I found is that the gun sequences are less glamorous than a movie like Hard Boiled. Like she as a director does not glamorize the gun violence, but when there is a fist fight, it's like everything fucking stops. So it's fascinating because the director really venerates the combat action sequence, whereas the shooting sequences are like frenetic and like can almost be absurd at times. Like, where the girl accidentally throws the fucking grenade at one guy. You know what I mean? And then the other guy's like, you used a grenade on like one guy or something like that.
They're brutal, and they're often there's no finesse to them. Whereas the fighting sequences are what you would expect, where the two face off and they kind of take off the jacket. And they're getting into a pose,
Yeah, the final action sequence between the two women at the end, Moon and what was the bad guy's name again?
Her name was Young Lamb.
Young Lamb. The fight sequence between the two of them is too short, and I don't mean that like it should have been. It's too short, in that it's so good you want it to go on for longer. It is so intense and so brutal, and they just bring it to each other. And it makes sense that it couldn't last longer because one of them would have died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the final, right before the final thing is where this, and I said to you, I said, here comes the moment that shocked me in this movie.
But
where Moon's character throws the other woman by her legs, smashes her into the side of a piece of metal brutally.
Yeah, but what annoys me is that fight sequence is so good, and I'm sad that we didn't get more of that earlier on.
Yes.
Like Moon takes forever to have a really good fight, and she's very good. Whereas the fights that the other guy has, was it 001, right? That's what it was
001.
Yeah, 001. His fights are far more elegant. Like he's having these like James Bond martial arts sequences, where like even at the end, the one bad guy who he has like two fights with, he lets him go. There's this great line where he's like, "Well, I'm not a cop," and like, and the guy is no longer a threat to him, right? And they both laugh about it, and you're like, his fights are elegant and very thought out, and whereas like when Moon has her final fight, there's no elegance to it. It is fucking vicious. Like it's the two women versus the main villain of the movie, and it's like 2-on-1, and the one girl gets her ass kicked out of the fight real quick, and then it's just brutal. So it's like I saw that at the end, and it made me feel like, damn, I wish there was more of that to the movie. Like, and it's not a weakness, because when you're watching the movie and you don't know that that's what's waiting for you, you don't sit there and go, I want this to be more brutal. It's like, no. But when you see it at the end, you're like, God, this is so good. But even though the rest of the movie was good, I want more of this. It's like,
well, okay. And there's one other problem. And that problem is we've already watched Yes, Madam. And the final fight in Yes, Madam is never going to be matched.
Is a bonanza.
It's never, because of the length and the skill. It simply will never be matched by anything else we'll watch. And so what you're looking for is that. And you're never, ever going to get that again, because it's too awesome. So everything is going to be at least one step down from that. So I understand what you're saying, and I'm the same way. And that's because I've seen Yes, Madam. And you're just not going to ever get back to that.
What's funny is that, oh man, I think I enjoyed this as a movie more than Yes, Madam, right? Structurally and whatnot.
Well, it's less tonally wild.
Yeah, whereas
it doesn't have as many peaks and valleys as Yes, Madam does.
Has better creative fight sequences throughout.
Yes.
What
makes Yes, Madam work is the actual stunts. There are just magnificently choreographed stunt and fight sequences.
Yeah.
The movie itself is fairly
It can be silly. Very silly at times.
Yeah, I mean, and it's really nothing. It's not. The only other thing about Yes, Madam is it has a very downer ending, whereas this one does not. This one ends on a banana peel slip.
I mean, literally, the end of this movie is one of the main characters who's broken her leg and an arm finds out the guy she's got the hots for is in like the next room over, and she stumbles on a banana peel after having roofied all the medical staff.
I was going to say, the important point, yes, is that this is the roofie queen.
Yeah,
she wants to roofie everyone.
Yes, like she's just a mean-spirited roofier. Which, by the way, is this the character that gets raped in the next movie?
It is the character that almost gets raped.
There's an irony that the roofier is the one that almost gets raped in the next movie.
Yes, but fortunately, she does not actually get raped. She gets she begins to get groped, and it's stopped. Right. Don't worry. So we're gonna watch that one too.
Yeah. So I massively enjoyed Iron Angels. It is different. I mean, it's different.
Well, the thing that will become clear too is how good Moon Lee specifically is. Because they retain her through all 3 movies.
The thing is, like, 001 is not...
And she gets more to do in the next one.
Yeah, 001 is not the lead. This is very much an ensemble movie. Because, I mean, like, 001, even though he's very good, his end fight it's badass in what he's endured, and that as a character, what he's still... Because he's basically been locked underground in a low oxygen state. So when they pull him out, the other guy that was down there has died, and he's still alive. They pull him out, and even in this like kind of oxygen-starved state, he's willing to try and fight to do the right thing, right? And so he has this incredible sort of moment of, oh man, that's fucking badass. Whereas Moon does get this incredibly badass fight sequence, and even though 001 shoots the villain in the end, it's only after Moon has beat her to unconsciousness first. And then we gotta talk about the villain.
Her face is completely bloodied top to bottom when she gets shot. Yes.
So the main villain of this movie, whose name I keep forgetting, what's her name?
Young Lamb.
Young Lamb. She is so
sensational,
hilariously maniacal.
Yes.
Like she's brutal, and she has to be because you need for everyone to be afraid of her. But I do like that whenever there's even remotely a fight that she's involved in, she just has an amazing level of superiority. Mm-hmm. Like early on, she decides to fight some people, and she fights 2 people at once, and she's not losing. Like she's fighting them consistently to a standstill. You know, and even the final fight starts out with 2 people, and I'm not entirely sure that if 001 was there, they would have taken her easily either. Like, you do get this sense that Young Lamb is fucking hardcore. Yeah. To the point of which that she basically takes over her own crime syndicate, scares the shit out of all of them. You know, and she's a massive sadist. And I do love that the only nudity in this movie is specifically used as a distraction move to kick somebody's ass, which is that Young Lamb essentially flashes her tit at a guy to distract him to get the upper hand, and then gets the upper hand. That's the only nudity in the movie. She's even figured out how to use her sex in an aggressive way, right?
Yeah.
But the thing that I find very funny, and it's just a me thing, is that she has incredibly bad teeth. Like,
well, okay, she has 2 teeth that are out of whack.
no, there's a whole bunch. Her two
I looked at pictures. It's not. It's not as much as you think it is.
She's got the one canine that's kind of growing off to the side.
Well, there's one that's coming forward and there's one that's going back, and it makes it look worse than it is.
It's very funny because she is very good looking. She's incredibly fit. She's an incredible fighter.
Yeah.
She can act because I believe that she is this psychopath. But yeah, it's funny because like when you get these undershots of her teeth, I kind of sit there and go, "That's a bad shot, guys." It's like you're putting a crack in otherwise what is a very perfect package. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did find that I found that amusing. But you know what? I also live in a country where people put braces on their kids at a young age, which is kind of intense and painful.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, that's an Invisalign away from being fixed. So that I don't even see it. I don't even see it.
But otherwise, she's fantastic. She's a fantastic villain. I'm sad she's dead because I'd like to see her like evolve, like, you know, or you know, step up her game or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
I think they made a mistake because they could have brought her back in the third one as a surprise with the other villain woman, and it would have been. They would have had the equivalent of the Yes Madam, except instead of the two guys, it would have been the two women, and that would have been great.
Yeah, it would have been great if they arrested her at the end. They beat her to a standstill.
Yeah.
They handcuffed her, and they're like, "You're under arrest, bitch." But they're
I
not
mean, they
cops.
probably thought they were not going to make any more of these, so that's probably what it was.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, she's very good, and she is scary. Like, but she never
Well, like
fights
you said,
001
she's in a
at all,
room.
does she?
She starts off in a room full of crime bosses that are all men, and everybody.
Oh, that
she
meeting.
cuts a guy's fingers off immediately,
And then
nobody
a martial
does
arts
shit.
Yeah, and then a martial arts fight breaks out in the meeting, and the boss is just sitting
Yeah.
there like, "Oh my god, can you guys get this shit
And that's
together?"
the one guy who thinks
Yeah.
what she's doing is a bad idea, and he says later in the movie, he's like, "Hey, she's too tough for me.
Yeah, he's
I
afraid
can't do
of her.
anything about
Yeah.
it." Yeah. He's like, I don't think this is smart, but she's way tougher than me. So what am I going to do? Like, he's the practical guy. That's why I like him, even though the shit with him makes no sense.
Yeah.
I like that character a lot because he seems like guys like, man, I just want to make money doing crime.
He's
I got
he's
a kid.
He's,
you know?
yeah. Well, he does. He has a little girl, and he's like hanging out with her, and yeah.
But
Yeah,
even I
and-
like the thing where after what's his face like is going to let him go. He's like, "Hey, I don't like owing anybody anything, so I'm going to tell you something I don't have to. Here's a clue as to what it is. I can't tell you anymore because I don't know, but this is what she's doing." Because I think that too is like I don't agree with her, so I have no problem telling you what she's doing, so you could take her out because
Yeah, let her be your problem.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Sadly,
no,
I'm pretty sure he dies in the next one. I'm relatively
Who?
sure. You'll have to look, but it looks like it's the same actor. I
Yeah.
assume playing the same character who dies very, very at the very beginning of the next movie, which is too bad.
well, I mean, they had to bring in a whole new cast of people, right?
Yeah. Well,
You know,
mostly.
The Moon is there, and then the other girl is there, the roofier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't understand why it wasn't. I cannot believe I hadn't seen this movie sooner
Yeah.
in my life, like 20 years ago. I don't, and I'm still baffled. And
I think that it was a combination of the fact that it was
but this movie
a film
was.
it wasn't
It's not
easily put
Chinese.
into either action. It's Hong Kong.
It is Hong Kong.
I
okay.
think. Hold on, I want to check because I always get this.
I
mixed up.
thought it
Let me
was
make sure.
Malaysian.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you right now. I think I am wrong about that. It was. I keep mixing it up. It says Hong Kong, Taiwan. So it is. It would be classified generally as a Hong Kong film, but it's not really an action film, and it's not really a martial arts film. So number one, it's a female director
it's
with
Malaysian.
people who were.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's primarily Malaysian. It was filmed in Malaysia, in
Like I said,
Kuala Lumpur.
I don't even think that's the thing. I think it's that it's with a cast that at the time was not big names.
Yeah.
It was a director who was a woman when women were not at the forefront of much of anything at that point.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell somebody, well, okay, parts of it are like a Rambo film, but parts of it are like a Jackie Chan film. And it works.
Yes.
Because at the time, people were just doing one thing. They were doing this one thing, and that's what they were doing. And this was unusual. So
Yeah,
this is the rare case, because I haven't had one of these in a while. I think I said this when I reviewed it originally. This is an unknown, this is a hidden gem. This is one of those movies that is legitimately great that nobody seems to know about.
No, it is legitimately great. I enjoyed it. And I don't understand.
This is the type of movie I'm searching for. This is it.
And this is, I mean, you got this through Vinegar Syndrome, right?
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it.
Yeah.
And I immediately pre-ordered. I'm like, I'm rolling the dice. It's only the second time I did it. I rolled the dice on this one.
I can't imagine how they must go hunting for stuff like this.
Well, they just buy film and then they just look at it and they decide what to, I've seen like their warehouse is just full of film. And not all of it gets restored and put out. Like there are ones that are just not, So they clearly saw this,
Ooh.
recognized what it was, and felt it should be seen.
Should we see this? Oh, that's Iron. No, what? That
What's
didn't
that?
work. What the hell just happened?
What are you looking
There's
for?
a movie called Midnight Angels. But when I clicked on the link to it, oh no, hold on. Oh, is it renamed?
Probably.
Interesting. Right, so another name for the movie is Midnight Angels. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder if just Malaysia was just too far an import in that time period.
I think it was a combination of things.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. That's all. But hey,
Yeah,
we got
if
it
you
now,
like,
and it's
if,
in great
if-
quality.
Yeah, if you like Asian martial arts and action movies from the 80s and the 90s, then yes, you cannot miss this movie. It's
Well,
fantastic.
I literally bought this based on the trailer, and I was completely blown away by how good it was. So if you watch the trailer and think, "Oh, I'll enjoy this," you'll enjoy it more than you think. It's
Or
better than
you
you think.
can watch the commentary version for free
Sure.
and then decide whether you want to see the action, get a clean total copy.
Technically, there is an horrifically awful copy on YouTube, which I would never tell anybody to watch. That looks like not only was it from a VHS, but it was a VHS that apparently a yak ate shit out, and then somebody filmed on their CRT and uploaded to YouTube.
Her name
It's-
is Yukari Oshima. If that's who
Yeah, look
plays
up her filmography. She's done a lot of shit. She is a martial artist stunt woman. That's the thing
Oh,
about these
wow.
movies is you see them doing almost everything.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got.
That's what makes it great.
Yeah, she's still doing movies.
She is still doing movies.
Oh no,
she's
she
really
stopped-
good.
She stopped in 2011. Why did she stop?
Well, but I mean, she worked
No,
till recently.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me she's dead. God damn it.
Is she dead?
No, she's not. Still alive. Here you go.
I was gonna say I don't think I saw that she died.
Alive but divorced. That's fine. I'll take it.
Well, okay.
But yeah, she's got an
Not alive.
incredible filmography.
Yeah.
What movie is that? Book of Heroes.
I think Moon Lee does too. I'm pretty sure she did a ton of shit too.
Have you heard of Book of Heroes?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
This sounds like a movie we should see. When a crime lord moves in on a Hong Kong territory, conflict ensues. Soon, a shipment of gold bars disappears. It sounds interesting. And many go for the gold. 3 hot females use their skills to take down the baddies. Super cool fights,
I'm in.
kicks, shapes, and mad stunts.
I'm in.
Who else? Is she
It's called Book of Heroes.
Yeah, it's called a
right.
Book of Heroes.
It's on the list.
And she's in it, but she doesn't seem. Bin seems to be one of the stars. I wonder if this is one of those things
Well,
where she's
I mean-
in it, and they.
Yeah,
No,
it
she's
could be that
she's not. Yeah, she's
She's
not.
not top billed.
Yeah. Although this guy's eyebrows are incredible.
Well, no, but I see a picture of her doing something.
Who
So
is this guy? Oh my god.
she is on the cover next to the guy. So hold on. So it may be a stunt thing where, like in Righting Wrongs, the one woman that Cynthia Rothrock fights.
Yeah.
That woman was a well-known martial artist and stunt woman until she got hurt, and she's only in that movie for that one fight. But you know her.
Yeah.
Like, she's known. So it may be that type of scenario where it's like, okay, she was so good, they put her in for one fight. But she is on the cover, but that may have just been because she was better known than the guy. It's very possible. Yeah.
Wow. Why would they? This is such a strange movie. Sorry, you know how when we're looking for other things, sometimes things pop up and you go, what the fuck is this all about?
Sure.
Oh my god. There's a martial arts movie. I wonder if this was made after the Fat Dragon. Yeah, they did the movie The Fat Dragon with
Oh, yeah, sure. The Sammo Hung one.
Yeah, there's a movie called Fat Buddies.
Oh, probably.
I mean,
Yeah.
literally, when Agent J is shot in the head during an A-level mission, causing damage to the intracranial hypothalamus, during his period of rehabilitation, Jay gradually becomes a big fat man of 300 pounds.
Okay, yes, that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
That's what they're doing. Yeah.
and suffers from severe narcolepsy. But
Yeah,
Jay still
they're doing
considers
they're
himself
doing-
an agent,
That's what they're doing. They're doing a Fat Dragon thing.
Yeah, but there's two of them. So twice the fat, twice the dragon.
Twice the fat buddies, I guess.
Yeah, sorry, it's just weird movies that pop up that you're like, I've never heard of this movie.
200 hours.
Okay, so I gotta close IMDb. I'm getting distracted with movies. Holy shit!
Hey, it's easy. Trust me,
I've opened the gate. Yeah. All right, I'll let you. I'll let you give us the juice on demons. Fuck you.
All right, so Demons. That is a clip from the movie. That's one of my favorite fuck yous I've ever heard. Whoever dubbed that did a great job. And that was Billy Idol slightly in the background. There's your Billy Idol. So Demons is a movie I've heard about for a long time. It is directed by Lamberto Bava, who is anybody who knows movies will know Mario Bava is the more well-known. That's the father. Who did movies like, oh God, I just forgot it. Oh man, I've drawn stuff. Oh God, I've talked about it before. Jesus Christ, what is it?
Well,
the one that inspired. No, I've talked about it before. Planet of the Vampires. That's it. I knew it was Planet something. Planet of the Vampires. Best known probably for Blood and Black Lace, Giallo movies, science fiction movies. One of these Italians who knows how to use color. And so his son helped him on a lot of his movies and then became a director. And there's a movie that's simply titled Demons that he did, which uses a relatively well-trod idea in Italian horror. Well, I should say in regular horror movies. I mean, to some degree, this is what John Carpenter did in Mouth of Madness. The idea that the fiction that you're looking at, seeing, reading, consuming is now becoming reality. And in this case, it all centers around a Berlin theater, which in fact, that was a club called Metropolis, so that is real.
I gotta tell you,
yeah?
I've thought about this. Sorry, I don't think... Sorry, I'm losing my voice here. I don't think that the movie has anything to do with it. I think the movie is just something that they put on almost as a distraction, right? Or, I don't even know. I think it's a lure to get them in there and then to see if somebody puts the mask on. Because the mask What the
filmmakers have said is it is supposed to be that what's happening in the theater is what's happening in the movie. And the joke is if they just sat there and watched the movie would have told them how to stop it, but everything goes to shit ahead of time. So
I never even thought about that.
That's the sort
of
funny. In joke of the filmmaking.
Yeah.
The filmmakers themselves have said that in universe, if they had just kept calm and watched the movie all the way to the end, they would have found how to stop this entire thing. But because they freaked out.
But to be fair, at one point, a woman who's been gutted comes falling through the screen. Sure,
but in other words, they smashed the projectors instead of just fast forwarding to see what the movie showed them, because the movie is showing the same mask, the same transformations, the same things. The only difference is that the movie says it's because they disturbed Nostradamus' tomb.
But hold on, I have kind of a fuck you to that theory, though, right? Because the movie, because in this movie, it ends with apocalypse. So what happens if that movie just ends with apocalypse? What if there is no...
Well, what they've said...
Yeah.
Now, of course, they didn't actually film the whole rest of the movie, but what they were saying was...
There was an ending that showed how to finish it. The thing that you're supposed to
say to yourself is, if they just scrubbed ahead to the end, would the movie have shown them how to stop it? But because they didn't and they just smashed the projectors... They didn't know how to do it. It's a joke. It's a joke because, of course, it's not going to happen. The movie is what they made.
Yeah,
but the joke is they probably could have figured it out.
About this, it's essentially a zombie movie. There's zombie demons that are brought out of people when you get infected with it. In fact, I do love the infection element of it.
The mask. Yeah. The mask cuts a woman, one of two prostitutes who comes with an awesome character that unfortunately doesn't make it.
Tony the Pimp.
What was his name? Tony the Pimp. Yeah, one of his women puts on a mask which scratches her, as in the movie, a guy puts on the same mask and it scratches him. And it is a viral demon zombie infection film. And so everybody gets infected in a theater. That's it.
There are aspects of this that reminded me of 28 Days Later. I will admit that. It's kind of funny.
Sure. Yeah.
Which I'm saying in that 28 Days Later is probably inspired because whoever did that probably saw this. So, I mean, but
This is a fairly well-known movie, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it's a zombie movie at the end of the day. It's a zombie outbreak movie, which is what it is. But I like it because I'm not usually a fan of zombie movies. You know that. I hate the no-win situation. I like it because it's unexpected and there's a lot of innovative things they did. So like, you know,
and also for a movie with a lot of death and destruction, it never feels serious. The strength of these types of Italian movies.
Yeah,
they just feel goofy.
The demonic demons have like kind of weird abilities, so like they're not quite zombies, but there's almost a mystics and Bali kind of feel to some of them.
There's a point where one of them falls on a woman and is vomiting on her for so long it becomes like a goddamn police squad skit.
And the glowing eyes effect that they use from a distance is very cool.
That's the one frightening effect.
But they can't.
Scary.
But they can't use it up close because you can see the lights. They can only do it from a distance. Right. But at a distance, it's very cool.
It's like Chud. If you've ever seen Chud and you saw the glowing eyes, it's the only part of Chud that's actually creepy. And it's the same here. It is creepy because they shoot them with a light behind them, so they're all in silhouette except the glowing eyes, and it looks terrifying. Like if you saw that coming at you, you shit your pants. That's the only time it happens.
But otherwise,
everything else is lunacy.
It's a movie about a bunch of people who get essentially locked into a movie theater, locked into a magical movie theater that doesn't want them to leave, that there's no explanation for, and that this zombie demon outbreak gets out, and then they are all steadily killed except for the couple that appear to get away. And it's various people dying in various gruesome ways with very well done practical effects. I mean, there's some fucking gruesome shit in this. Which culminates in a motorcycle samurai sword, like, duel to the death. Which is so... I actually have to say something for for this in Class of 1999. In both of these movies, you see an interesting vehicle in the beginning of the movie. So, like, in Class of 1999, there's a big armored bus, right? And then by the end, by the third act of the movie, somebody uses it as a glorious weapon, right? So in Class of 1999, they drive the armored bus through one of the Terminators, whereas in Demons, the hero, who isn't the original lead of the movie, I love it too, is that they start with this girl who you expect is going to make it all the way through it. And then there's the guy that's with her that I thought he was going to turn at any minute, because at one point I misinterpreted that he had been hurt by one of the demons.
Well, okay. Before you say that,
the
rules of transformation are loose.
Yes.
At best. So
how long it takes,
I know,
and,
he was hurt, and he's just taking longer because some of them change within a couple minutes. Others take much, like the girl in the vent. The girl in the vent was injured for a while.
Yeah.
And in fact, we didn't think she was turning because they were shooting it badly.
Maybe it's because she wasn't injured. She ingested it. Took longer.
Maybe it's that. What I'm saying is, we never get a part where a professor sits somebody down and says, well, I've analyzed the blood of this thing, and what it's doing is this. Yeah. You turn within 20 minutes.
But the sequence, when our hero, who eventually becomes the hero of the movie, fights them all with a samurai sword on a motorcycle in a movie theater is fucking hilarious. It's unexpected. Even though you see the samurai sword in the motorcycle in the first part of the movie. It's fantastic. And the fact that he then manages to destroy most of them long enough for them to get out of the theater, because when that helicopter falls through the roof of the theater, I instantly knew the world was fucked. And I think in the commentary you hear me say it too, something like, "Oh, it's gotten out." Yeah. The second the old man, the blind man, gets out of the building, I was like, "That's whatever. The whole city's done." Like that's it.
And I kept waiting to see if they tell us what happened to him, and then I would have known, because he ambushes these cops, but I was waiting to see if they were just all dead, and they weren't. But as you said, once the helicopter comes through, it is very clear that everybody is dead. That's it.
So I only have one kind of weird. No, it's not weird. I have one issue with the movie, like, as a fast and loose zombie demon movie. Is that I wish there had been some more explanation of the guy with the half metal face. Anything. Just like any explanation. Because he's obviously the one that sets it up. He gives out the free tickets to get people there, right? And he tries to stop them from leaving at the end when they try to get away through the roof, right? I just wish that there was any in-movie reference to him of any kind. You know, like if in the movie, they talked about how the demons have a midwife that brings them into the world, or if the believers of the demons are always trying to bring them into the world, or because he has one of those demon masks merged with his face, so it's like he's demon and human. Like, there's so little explanation. It's the one thing in the movie that was like, I wish they gave you something, even if it was just fast and loose. But they give you absolutely zero. So he's involved, and the movie theater becomes. I love how the movie theater genuinely becomes very creepy, even without the demons. Just the fact that it's a building that's working against you and that you can't get out of it. Like, when they try to go back through the front doors and they realize that they've turned to concrete, that's pretty bad. But the one sequence when she goes to the curtained area to go into the theater, and then it just keeps going and going and going, and you're like, yeah, if the building is magical and it's trying to screw you up, I was like, anytime you get into any part where it can mess with you, it's like, yeah, so the building does become a very interesting, creepy aspect of it, but yeah, in the end, it ends up being kind of like a fast and loose, zombie demon movie with some very well done sequences, and far better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, and you don't expect as many. You don't expect everyone to get it. I guess that's the other thing too. There's a bunch of characters that I thought they might make it. Like Tony the Pimp, I was sure Tony the Pimp was going to, because he was too effective. Yeah. He was too good. He was one of the characters who actually seemed to get an idea of what was going on very quickly. So you're like, oh, he's got to die. He's not going to last. But I was genuinely surprised when the girl who is supposed to be the lead for most of the movie, she turns in the end and she gets fucking shot in the face by the kid with the fucking shotgun. He just shoots her right off the Jeep. Like our two heroes escape the movie theater of doom, and the world is an apocalypse, and this this old guy and his two kids with guns pick him up in a Jeep to get away from all these crazy fucking zombie demons. And you realize the world is kind of fucked. But then the girl reaches behind her head and she sees all this blood, and she realizes she's been infected, and she turns, and before the guy can even react, the kid in the front seat has just blown her right off. And the movie ends literally on her body just like rolling to the street dead, and they drive off. And I mean, it's a hell of a kick in the balls ending. So no, I enjoyed it. It was it was a genuinely good horror, movie of that era.
And I think I told you this. This was a minor roll of the dice for you, because I know that you don't generally like horror films, but I had read, my familiarity with films of this type means they're never generally that serious. They always kind of loosey-goosey.
Yeah, I don't need the horror movie headcanon. The world is bad enough as it is. I've realized of late. Let's put it this way: we wouldn't watch The Exorcist. But this is not The Exorcist. Honestly, though, at this point, though, we could probably laugh our ass off at The Exorcist. Either way.
Well, not the Spinal Tap parts. Not me.
Those bother you. I've been in the room with Spinal Tap, so I'm fine with it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it sucks and it's real. I don't like that.
Well, yeah, but like with this movie, yes, because it's loosey goosey, because the movie has a style. It's of an era.
It's Evil Dead 2-ish.
There's
like that.
I mean. I'm impressed by the practical effects, and the demon sequences, like, they're meant to be over the fucking top. They're ripping things apart, and like, it's practical, so they want to make it look real, but that it's not, because there is that element to it where it's. Do you ever hear the phrase real gore is too artificial? You heard that phrase before?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So essentially, if you ever encounter something really gory in real life, it doesn't seem real. And you get a lot of people talking about how, like, dead bodies, like blown apart body parts or things like they seem fake. It doesn't look real. And it could be shock, but it just doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem possible. Right? So like I've read about this effect kind of all the time. And so with like horror movies, it's this thing where like it can't be that. It has to be movie. It has to be over the top movie, right? Because if it was truly realistic, it would look fake on screen.
Right.
And I do find that a very fascinating like kind of effect with people where it's like, real gore is just looks fake. So you have to go over the top. You got to make it juicy, man. It was juice and
that's
blood.
why it's like this. Demons is pea soup, vomit.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. It doesn't ever really look real.
Yeah,
and that's why
plus,
the only effective effect is the eyes glowing because it's creepy. Everything else is just kind of like,
and otherwise,
that's cute.
I mean, it's a it's a funny sort of zombie movie. I mean, it's not meant to be funny, but it's like, one of the characters is Tony the Pimp.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
This is why I like Italian horror films of the 80s. They have this kind of sensibility. Like, I would never expect you to watch this again, but it's a fun movie to watch once. I probably wouldn't watch this again, but I'm glad I watched it because it was fun. And yeah, Tony the Pimp. Tony the Pimp is the one thing I don't know that any other movie's going to have quite like this.
That guy's fantastic.
Not only because of the guy, but also the dubbing. Whoever they got to do his voice is
so
really good.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, and the eyes. The eyes were good.
I think...
And the motorcycle. The motorcycle was great.
I think the only thing that really bugged me about this movie was that I had no idea what the guy with the half metal face, what he played in any of it. Like, I just really wanted a little bit more information.
That and the girl seemed like she was in on it till she wasn't.
Oh yeah, the clerk. The clerk was like, we were so sure that she was part of this somehow.
Yeah, well, she seemed to be until a certain point.
Yeah.
But this is the other thing: is Italian movies like this do not need to have logic that makes sense.
I thought she was going to be some kind of zealot who didn't quite grasp what she was unleashing.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. I thought she was going to be somebody who made sure they couldn't leave, so that whatever the master demon was, I expected her to be a big demon.
I have to say this though, because this is something that kind of threw me for a loop. There is a moment in this movie that feels like it is out of a completely different movie. It is actually very well done and far more erotic than it should be. Do you know what sequence I'm talking about?
Tit cut?
My God, the razor blade. Now, before he cuts her tit, when he's like basically like fondling her boob with the razor blade and she's like getting all aroused by it, that's a different fucking movie right there.
Those characters are in it. Remember I said, this is another movie. We're in a different movie right now until they get to the theater.
You get to that point in the movie, and the movie decides to take a left into a Bernardo Bertolucci movie for like 5 minutes.
I think on the commentary I say we're in Train Spotting now. Because that is like a drug movie.
Well, it is. It is, but then it turns into like a Bertolucci movie because she's got her boob out and he's like scraping the coke off, and you're like, okay, we are not in the same movie now.
No. Until they get to the theater, it is not the same movie.
Yeah, then it all lines up again. Yeah.
Then they basically get integrated.
What's funny is that you feel bad when people die, and then when they become demons, you start trying to track them where they pop up as demons. And then when they get killed again as demons, you're like, oh, they killed cocaine tits. Oh, and you're like, you don't really know who you're rooting for at that point. It's like, well, you can't. I mean, she's a demon now. You can't really. But that moment in the movie is very well filmed, and like, I was distracted watching that, and then I was like, and then when we get back to the rest of the movie, I thought they were going to have
sex in the back of the car. I really thought that's where it was going.
It could have.
I thought they were going to have fact that they were kind of sex back there.
Yeah, and then what is that guy? The Ripper? What does he say to them?
Ripper. Actually, I thought based on that was when they got to the theater, he was going to say, "Stay in the car with the drugs," and then they would fuck in the car and get killed. Because movies like this, that's what would happen.
Yeah, by the blind monster
probably.
guy. Yeah.
But no, that's not what happens. They all just become
Yeah.
demons.
Yeah. That sequence is like so out of another movie, and then you sit there and go, I wonder what other movies this guy's done.
He's done a lot of movies. The son went on to
So-
do a bunch of movies.
Yeah, so I like I said, I enjoyed it. It's not perfect, but it is a fun zombie outbreak movie. If you like 28 Days Later, I think that you'll find that that this echoes back to this movie, that kind of idea. Because I mean, if you think about 28 Days Later, it ends in much the same way as this, which is there's this outbreak in the world, they don't know what to do with it. And then they made 28 weeks later and 28 months later, or whatever.
Years.
Yeah, whatever. And I've actually heard that the new one is very good. Like, it's
I've heard
very
such split
different.
opinions. It sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
I've heard love it or hate it. So I'm like, well, that's usually good.
Well, that's good, right? Because it means there must be something there if you're going to love it or hate
I
it.
would assume, yeah.
You got to feel strongly enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Demons was fun. I don't have regrets about any of the movies that we watched. They were all entertaining in their way. None of them was a bad movie.
No.
No. You know, they were all. I mean, Class of 1999 is a fun bad movie. It's not even that bad. It's just got a low budget. You know what I mean?
Class of 99 is a pure B movie.
Yes.
Pure B movie that you would have seen on the movie channel at 9 o'clock on Friday.
Oh, fuck you. HBO at 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's 9 p.m. Friday for the movie channel. Remember? There was the A tier, B tier. A tier was HBO and Showtime. B tier was Cinemax and the movie channel.
Oh, yeah.
Or Skinemax. Remember? There was a tiered system. So you're right. 3 a.m. for HBO, 9 p.m. for the movie channel.
What year was Demons?
I believe 89, but I could be wrong.
Yes, it's interesting. It's interesting, these movies that are floating around out there that you just never encountered, but they've been out there.
85, Dead Center.
Oh, wow.
Dead Center.
But like these movies that were out there floating around and you never encountered them. And then you sit there and you go,
Demons,
yeah, you know what?
I've heard of Demons forever, but I never watched it. For whatever reason.
I haven't. But it's the whole...
Oh, no, I remember Demons.
How would you have encountered them? I mean, Iron Angels is a Malaysian movie, right? So
that one I
really,
wouldn't have.
how would you have encountered it, right?
Well, yeah.
Whereas
Class
Demons...
of 99, I remember the cover of Class of 1999 in the video store.
Class
and
of 1999
Demons.
is an American movie, though.
Yes, and Demons was in the horror section. I remember the cover for Demons, which is the silhouette without the glowing eyes for some reason. They leave it out in the poster.
I never encountered this movie. Ever.
Oh, I remember. I never watched it, though.
But it's fascinating because if there are movies like this out there that you haven't encountered, that you have an enjoyment of, then it stands to hope that then there must be a lot more. You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to have to be more.
How many
Iron
years
Angels
have I been
there.
proving that to be the case? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So no, this is a rare situation where we watched 3 movies and they were all good and they were all fun.
Yep.
And I have nothing bad to say. I mean, I have nitpicks, but they were all generally enjoyable movies.
And the nice part is 2 of the 3 you can watch for free. Class of 1999 and Demons are everywhere. Easy to watch. The only one that's harder to watch is Iron Angels. You have to buy that one, which is a shame. It will probably eventually get to something. I really hope, because I'd like more people to see it.
It'll get to Patreon with commentary.
Well, no, what I mean is I want it to get to Tubi or someplace, or even Shudder.
Somebody should get a copy of it, yeah.
Yeah, because it should be seen by more people, and I don't think a lot of people are just going to go ahead and buy 3 movies like I did.
Yes, but it's the selling the movie that makes money for the movie. You know what I mean? Like,
well, listen, I will sell it as much as I can. I think all
fun.
3 are excellent in different ways, but all consistently good. So Iron Angels, I said, I'd tell anybody to watch these.
You know,
and Class of 1999 is fun.
In order of movies I would pay for, right?
Yeah.
I would totally pay for Iron Angels.
So would I.
And I would have paid for Class of 1999, right?
So would I.
I wouldn't pay for Demons only because I'm not a zombie movie guy.
I would rent Demons. I would not buy it.
I'm not unhappy that I saw it, but I wouldn't pay for it.
No, if I did a $5 rental of Demons, I would have said, yep, that's entertaining.
Yep, that's a movie.
Whereas I'm very happy I got Iron Angel. I am really
there's no
like
sequel,
the other
right?
To Demons?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a sequel, but from what I've read, it's not quite the same.
So it doesn't continue the world apocalypse scenario?
Well, it may, but I read that it just doesn't have the same quality to it. Let's see. It is basically a sequel where they're in a high rise. We can watch it. But what I read was...
It's just the same thing?
They're stuck in a sequel. They're stuck in a building in a sequel.
Oh, so the demon outbreak is going on and they're stuck in a building.
Yeah, and they're in a building.
Okay.
But what I read was that it just doesn't have the same... It's the same director and writers, but there's something different. I mean, I would watch it. But from what I've read, they're like, you don't expect it to be of the same kind of quality as the first one. I don't really know what that means, but, Yeah,
there you go.
But like I said, I'm just happy I can say 2 of the 3 you can watch easily in good quality. So the 2 of the 3 are very easy to find. Ironically, the one that I would say is the best of them all is the one you can't just watch for free. But like you said, the commentary one will come out. By that time, I think eventually the Iron Angels will land somewhere. And so I would say, because you can't even rent it, I would say if you paid $10 to rent it, it's still worth it. It's that good. Yeah. But unfortunately, I can't even rent it right now. So, and I don't know why Vinegar Syndrome doesn't have a streaming service. God, I would subscribe to that in a heartbeat. That would be number 2 to Criterion.
Well, you know what? Write them a letter.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I have. I think I've already said that, and many others have said the same thing. Is come on, guys, you've got to do that. But in any event, there you go. All 3 movies are good for different audiences too. So this is kind of a nice selection for lots of different people. Because there's just plain fun. There's Italian and gorehound types like myself, but also fun, not just pure gore. And then there's action martial arts blended together really, really well. So whatever you do with your weekend, you have plenty of options from us. So enjoy it, and we'll talk to you again next week. Visit OzoneNightmare.com to subscribe to new episodes, browse through our back catalog, or to find links to support the show. Follow @OzoneNightmare on Twitter for the latest episode postings and other show information. If 280 characters just isn't enough, you can always email us, theozonenightmare@gmail.com. The opening theme for the show is provided by Heartbeat Hero. The closing theme is provided by Ogre. Please visit and support these artists using the links in the show notes for each episode.